Here.
I'd push right button.
What button to push?
Lots of buttons.
Podcasting and streaming around the globe by a miracle of God. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Hot Rods and Heroes in the Ozarks. We'll talk to Nathan Skelton. Hey, George, you listening? Later,
no relation, though.
Topless Jeff. It's a special story. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this kind of humid and muggy day here in the Houston, Texas area. But all that's about to change tonight, from what I understand.
Yeah, we're going to get
I always
some
like to start the show with it gives you an idea.
The weather report.
It gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here, because I think that right now it's about 70 degrees and very humid. It's going to be a warm day, and then storms roll in tonight. And tomorrow's high temperature is supposed to be in the 50s.
I think a little warmer than that. But you talked about buttons, push a lot of buttons. You know what's better than buttons? Velcro. We need a Velcro board. All this needs to be Velcro.
And then we have some Velcro gloves, like they use in those amusement park things where you jump and you stick onto the wall.
Oh yeah, we need one of those in here.
We do. You prop me up.
You jump up there, we leave you up there.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us today. We always like to get off the beginning of the show with some humor. Well, what we consider humor.
Wow.
We don't know whether you think it's humor or not. Just get on with the show, Don, and shut up. Heroes and Hot Rods in the Ozarks. And I told the boys, I said, we got kind of a Ozarky kind of thing going on here. And we're not talking about water here either. We're talking about automotive kind of events. Heroes and Hot Rods in the Ozarks. And joining us right now is Nathan Skelton. Nathan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, I hope that you are ready for this.
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
I'm sure you can. Most
always say
most
that.
hot rod guys can. They say it and then they go, "Why the heck did I do that?"
Yeah.
So June the 7th and 8th, the 6th annual Heroes and Hot Rods. First of all, let's get the landscape here. Are you with a car club?
So I am the director for Heroes and Hot Rods in the Ozarks. We're a 501c3 veteran automotive enthusiast RAND organization here in Northwest Arkansas.
Very nice. So this is your once-a-year deal?
So this is our main event we host every year. We do 3 other cars and coffee events every year, a spring, summer, and fall theme. This year we're doing it at the local Air Museum here in Northwest Arkansas in Fayetteville. And then our main event that we host every year that continues to grow and get bigger and bigger is our main one, June 7th and 8th.
I mentioned this in our tease that we had earlier before we went on the air this morning. My girlfriend and I were talking about the fact that you were going to be on today. And I said, Mars has kind of a Ozarky kind of thing going on, and we really have never delved into the car thing that's going on up there in the Ozarks and in Arkansas in general. And we talked to somebody last week or a week before, Mars?
Last week,
and probably somebody that you know. But at any rate, the bottom line is that she said to me right out of the box, she says, it's beautiful up there. And I said, I do know that because I have traveled through Arkansas. And I have a very old radio friend of mine that moved back to Arkansas after being here in the Houston, Texas area for 50 years. And I get it. It is beautiful up there. You got a change of seasons. You got rolling hills. I mean, it's a pretty cool place. And so we talked about the fact, why not do a little 4 or 5 day trip to the Ozarks? Go up there, do a car thing, go to the hot springs or wherever it is, some sort of a touristy resort kind of place. And I thought, man, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal up here. There's so much stuff to do. This area is growing rapidly. You've got Crystal Bridges here in Northwest Arkansas. It's an amazing art museum. Biking and hiking trails all over the area. We're one of the largest, if not the largest, biking area in the United States that's funded publicly versus national parks and stuff like that. We're very blessed to have organizations like Walmart, JB Hunt, Tyson that are all here in Northwest Arkansas that help improve and grow the community
and feed the country with Tyson.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And clearly there is a large car culture going on up there, too.
Absolutely. There's a huge car culture. That, Jeff's event, Jeff Yurgovich, you spoke with him last week.
Yep.
His show in Eureka Springs has been going on in Eureka Springs for over 30 years.
Do you go to that?
I do. I go every year. Believe it or not, I kind of help him out with his social media. So I've known Jeff for about 10 years. So.
Well, helping him out with his social media. That's what us car guys do. We help each other out, and not just on cars, but, flyers, whatever the case may be. I mean, if somebody needs something in the car community, by golly, we're there to give each other a hand and actually move forward the car culture, if you will.
Yeah, we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. Jeff's got a ton of experience in the racing industry. He raced Trans Am Series cars back in the 80s and early 90s. Did a lot of that. And I've got a lot of experience in event promotion. And so we're constantly bouncing ideas off each other because he doesn't know the social media side of things. And I don't know some of the car culture that he does. And so it helps out a lot.
Well, let's talk about your June 7th and 8th event, the 6th annual. Now, how many cars are you expecting?
Somewhere between 200 and 300 is a conservative estimate. We'll have 3,000 spectators come through over 2 days. We do a big swap meet, arts and craft festival. We'll have monster trucks on display. We do helicopter rides. So we have a local company that comes in. They do helicopter rides for people. We do a giant live auction from donated items where the proceeds go directly back to veterans here within our community.
Is it all an outdoor event?
It is an outdoor event. It's at Holland Barn Venue. It's a venue here owned by my partner, Eric Holland. He's a 26-year Air Force vet, and he owns the property, and so we host everything there. It's a giant open grassed area, lots of shade, lots of trees, really cool barn venue. It's just a lot of fun. We're going to have Ryan Daniel, a country music artist, a 10-year Air Force veteran, and a local Arkansas native there, doing a concert for everybody. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, what do you consider hot rods? Is it open to anybody and everybody?
Absolutely. We do heroes and hot rods. I grew up around Studebakers and Fords. But everything, we're open to everything, modern to classic. What's really great is over the years, we're seeing more and more classics and more hot rods, the 30s and 40s, early 50s, showing up to the events, lots of 60s stuff. But we don't exclude anybody. It's all about raising funds and awareness for veterans within our community.
And how much does it cost to register?
So if you register right now before before May 8th, it's $20 and then $25 the day of.
$20, that's it?
$20, 2 days. It gets you in. If you're a spectator, it's $5. The great thing is we allow veterans in for free to the event, so we can honor them and recognize them for their hard work and what they've dedicated to this country. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We'll have 30 to 40 arts and craft vendors, and then of course our swap meet and all the other goodies. So
what city is this in?
So it's in Heifel, Arkansas. It's 3 miles southwest of Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh.
Okay, so you're right up there by the Walmarts.
Yeah. So Walmart's corporate office is in Bentonville, and so we're just literally right outside of it.
We've been showing some of your pictures and your flyer event while we were talking. I've got it rolling for you so that folks can see.
And I assume that barn that sits behind that hot rod, that's the barn you're talking about?
Yeah, so Holland Barn there. That's the main building. He's got another one, a chapel on there. He does a lot of weddings.
So wait a minute, so you can have a car show in a barn, and then you could go next door to the chapel and get married.
Yeah, we can get you hitched.
Yeah, okay.
Do you supply the bride, or you have to bring your own?
I think it would be best if you brought your own.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you can go to the kissing booth and recruit one.
yeah, that's the
right,
kissing
that's
booth.
right.
All right. how many are all the slots filled, or do you have a limitation on how many can enter?
No, the most we've had is just over 300 a couple of years ago, and we still had plenty of room. So it's a pretty large venue. So we'll accept everybody until the police department tells us, hey, you got too many people out here. You need to shoo people away.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
No, but we had about 3,500 people in 2021 show up.
Yeah,
and it was a little scary.
Yeah, I'll
There
bet.
was a lot.
See, those are the events that we show up. The cops show up. So
That's
maybe
right.
it's a good
Yeah.
thing.
We're used to
That's
that.
right. And you know what today is, don't you?
Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Yeah,
420.
it's Saturday, but it's also 420. Yeah, okay. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Well, you're gonna have to sooner or later. You're gonna have to explain it.
Who, me?
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be explained.
Okay.
People that I know, they know all about that.
If you know, you know.
You know. If you don't know, look it up.
Stop by the studio.
Stop after the show.
After the show, yeah.
Automotive and motorcycle swap meet. Parts or whole complete bikes and stuff.
So we'll have a car corral set up for anything that's running and has an engine in it, and then we'll have just the parts and everything separate from that. So you can register $20, get you a running vehicle to put in the swap meet or in the car corral, and then if you're wanting a booth, we sell them 20 by 20 squares. They're $20.
How many people?
Wow.
There's a 20 by 20
Yeah,
going
it
on
seems
here.
to be.
How many people?
So what we did is we gathered data from Dallas to Springfield, Missouri to Tulsa, and we were trying to be the most competitive, and so that's where we put it in. That $20 mark seems to be a very reasonable
That's
amount.
the sweet spot. No, I get it. How far away do you get people coming to this show?
So we've had people as far away as Alaska attend. In 2021, we had a group of guys on motorcycles, the Air Force vets. They rode down from Alaska. During the summer, we had it a little bit later in the year, so it was probably a little bit easier for them to ride down. But they show up. But we have people from all over the United States attend. It's pretty awesome to see the large variety. We have a ton of people from Dallas that come up, and then a ton of people from Kansas City.
How far is it from Dallas? Do you know off the top of your head?
5-ish hours.
5 hours, so easily drivable.
So
Yeah.
So how far are you from Eureka Springs or Hot Springs?
An hour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
At most, I can get to Jeff's house in about an hour.
So it goes back to what Don was saying earlier. You know, you could literally go up there with a few days vacation, check out Arkansas. You could literally go to Jeff's event and then vacation around Arkansas and then come to your event and make the whole week out of it. Your wife would love that.
Don't give
Your
me any.
wife would love that.
I'm not married, so
Well, that's probably a good thing. You might get
it's
to
a
go.
good thing for her.
Yes.
That's for sure. All right. What is there to eat around there? You're gonna bring some food trucks or what?
Yeah, we've got a slew of food trucks coming in. Tons of stuff for the vendors, for kids, and so a little bit for everybody. The biggest thing that we as an organization, we didn't want to be that event that only had stuff for car people. We wanted to be able to spread it out and have stuff for the ladies, for people that weren't interested in cars, because we wanted to make it more about veterans and helping pay respects and raise funds for them, because they've sacrificed so much for this country. So we have a lot to do for anybody.
Well, it's a car show, kind of like this car show. We try to appeal to women, men, and teenagers too, for that matter.
The cops show up.
And then the cops show up, and then it all goes down. But
Sign a few autographs.
we sign a few as we're handcuffed. It's kind of like a Houdini routine.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So online, where do we go to get more information?
Heroes and Hot Rods, Ozarks.com.
Heroes and
find us on.
now. So the and is the
Ampersand or the word?
ampersand? Is it what? How?
Yeah, that is. But I believe our website is an N instead of that.
Heroes Hot Rods Ozarks.com.
You can find us on Facebook. Search Heroes and Hot Rods in the Ozarks. You can find us on Instagram. We just started a TikTok page, so we're everywhere.
Well, I see here Heroes Hot Rods Ozarks.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our email is heroesandhotrodsozarks.com.
Oh my God, it's all way too confusing. Mars, are you going to put
You're
a
welcome.
link? You're going to put a link to their stuff?
Yes, and we've been showing their flyer and stuff up there.
Okay. So if you're interested, I would
Yeah, it was on our
encourage you.
Facebook page
I
yesterday.
would encourage you to check it out. It sounds like a great time. Do you have room for a car show, like our car talk show up there?
Absolutely. We've got, you guys come up, we'll put you in the VIP booth upstairs and kind of overlooks everything.
Away from the public.
That's right. So all you can see is our heads looking out the window, going,
talking
"Hey,"
heads, yeah.
kind of like they do in the jail.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
hey, look, there's Armstrong up there. I see his head up there. He's waving. Yeah, I got it. All right. Well, like I said, I'm thinking maybe a trip up there. Now, when is your next event after this?
So our first Cars and Coffee event of the season is next Saturday at the Arkansas Air and Military Museum in Fayetteville.
No. So after the June 7th and 8th event.
Gotcha. So our event for 2025, we haven't secured a date yet. Because it's a wedding venue, we got to make sure we plan around.
Okay, let me reword
business.
this, because you said at the beginning of this interview that you personally are involved in 4 shows a year.
Oh, okay. Well, I do Jeff's show every year, and then we do 3 Cars and Coffee events in our main event every year.
Okay,
So
I got you. All right.
if that
So
That clears it up for me. Yes, exactly.
There you
Because if for us car guys, we could find at least 2 or 3 events on Saturday and 2 or 3 events on Sunday somewhere around here. And then if we're going to travel, like next weekend, we're going to be on
Just a little bit more planning, yeah.
the Hot Rod Tour of Texas next weekend. That starts on Thursday evening. So we got lots of choices to make.
Oh yeah, there's tons to do up here. I mean, you would be busy for a whole week if you came up here.
So I'm
did
thinking
stuff.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to glom on to your show, and I'm going to set up tours by In Wheel Time, and we'll be able to tour garages. We'll be able to go over and see Jeff. Little daytime run.
Liquor stores,
yeah, and
but I have to tell you, Don, if that happens, if you go to Hot Springs, you have to keep your pants on. It doesn't just because it says Hot Springs and there's hot springs there, you can't go like you normally go. You have to keep your pants on.
dang it.
like you normally go.
Well, I guess we've tortured you enough.
Wrap that
Nathan.
up.
By the way, while we have you, before we say goodbye, do you happen to know a fellow by the name of George Skelton?
I don't.
Well, I went to grade school, middle school, high school with George, and we're still in touch. George lives up in East Texas, and he is a Skelton. And are you familiar with Betty Skelton?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
No.
well, see, there's another thing. So you've given us all this information. Now we're giving you this information. So look up Betty Skelton and find George Skelton on Facebook. I know it's old school, but so are we. Do that, and I think that you'll be surprised to learn, especially about Betty Skelton.
Okay, I can do that.
And one more time, Nathan, what's the dates on your event?
So June 7th and 8th.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Very good.
Hey, man, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something that you've all been standing by waiting to see and hear. It's coming up right after a quick break. It's
The tease.
I guess.
It has something to do with going topless.
I just hope I live up to the expectation he's been talking about.
I did want to remind you.
Big.
I did want to remind you that the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. And a new daily podcast is available from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In Wheel Time will be there too. We'll see you there.
You know, there are some mornings that work and just some that don't, and this is one of those that doesn't.
Oh, Mr.
Let's see.
Chatterbox
Here's
over
a
there.
button. There's a button there, and there's a button over here. What ought I do? I don't know.
Chatty.
Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. I want to tell you that if you'd like to get in touch with us, I don't know why, but if you'd like to, the address is info@inwheeltime.com.
Mm-hmm.
Mars is in charge of that. Mm-hmm. You get all those, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And
Good, bad, and ugly.
I know, and the ones that are trolling for any kind of money that we can spend with them, those kind.
Well, there's those kind. I get 8 or 10 of them a day.
A day, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get the occasional one. You know, the one I loved was, "Who's Becky?"
Did you read that to her?
No.
No, it came from her.
It came from who's Becky. That's
Yeah.
right. All right.
Poor Becky. We love you, Becky.
Yeah, we do. I don't know how you do what you do. That's Jeff's. I'm sorry. That's Mike's wife. Speaking of Jeff has a special feature this morning called "Going Topless" with Jeff Zeke.
That is not the episode. You sent this to me. He wrote that. You sent me the episode or the segment, and I said, that's great. I'll do that. So,
Well, see, it says right here,
doesn't
drop
matter.
tops or how I learned to go topless.
Mike
right
drinks. He drinks a lot. He
This
sits on the
is- this is-
computer.
this is
He
the-
buys stuff in the middle of the night and all that.
there. Yeah, he's one of those kind of guys.
Anyways, that's not what it is. It's convertibles under
Oh,
$30,000.
Okay.
There
Don't
you
sound
go.
near as much fun.
No,
Well, we just lost
no,
half
no.
of our viewing
There
audience.
you go, in 28 countries. But here's what we got to start out with. This first one is a 2009 Pontiac Solstice GXP. This rascal can be gathered up for $11,600.
My daughter would die to have one of those.
This
Well,
is
and you know, there's really nothing wrong with them.
No.
No, there's not.
This is called a GM Kappa convertible, sold in the U.S. as a Saturn Sky in a Pontiac Solstice. It had a 177 horsepower, 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine. A rare hardtop Solstice is the pricey collectible, but the convertible remains an affordable option. It does bring a solid chassis, sporty handling, and room for some serious rubber under those curvy fenders.
Ooh.
And it's convertible. It blows both of your hairs.
Yeah, all three of them. There you go. So the next one we have here is a 1998 Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GST. This rascal is $12,400. The Eagle Talon, Plymouth Laser, and Mitsubishi Eclipse offered buyers 3 flavors of stylish, affordable sport compact as part of the partnership known as what? Diamond Star Motors, or DSM. Unfortunately for the Plymouth fans, the Laser never made it to the second generation, which lasted from 1994 to 1998. More bad news for the Mopar brand. The Eagle, while available with some of the powertrains as the Mitsubishi, was not offered as a convertible. So the sole drop top is the Eclipse, packing a 210 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged 4G63 engine.
That was a bad to the bone little
Don't
car.
know what that means, but there it is. Okay, next on our agenda would be, who's got it? Chevrolet Corvette 2012. This rascal, $22K. The C6 Corvettes are a lot of car for the money, especially the later models. Ditched the 400 horsepower Cathedral Port LS2 for the bump in the displacement and better breathing of the LS3. For those that insist on 3 pedals, Don, the standard Corvette convertible comes in well under the price gap that you get with a Tremec TR6060 6-speed transmission and the 430 horsepower LS3 V8 for a fabulous top-down soundtrack. Now that soundtrack,
I like the way you wrote that.
I didn't write that. It was somebody else wrote that.
I like that car except for the headlights. The headlights on it, particularly like on the yellow one and the white one, things like that, they just don't do it for me.
I know, they don't do me either, but it's okay. It's a nice car.
But that's okay, too. And this is a banana yellow, I guess they call it.
I like it.
71 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia. $22,900 for this rascal, despite sharing its underpinnings and powertrain with the VW Beetle. The Type 14 Karmann Ghia managed to look special thanks to its hand-finished body and concept car styling. Enjoy the simple, easy-to-service Beetle drivetrain and ample aftermarket products to keep this curvy cruiser running. I saw one of these in the wild about 10 days ago. It was a little bit rough,
up, yeah,
but they were working on it, and it's going to be a nice car. It needed a little TLC and some good hands on it. So the last one we have here for today, this Cruisin' is my favorite. I love this car. It is a 1969 Mercury Cougar XR7, 28.8 from 67 to 68, and it's a good car.
Thank you, sir. Today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is sponsored by the group of original Lupi Tortilla restaurants in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, where we're going to be joining John at the Car Social coming up that you'll be hearing about here in just a moment. And Pro-Am Auto Accessories, we thank them too. We continue right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 of the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
Loved around the globe.
Yep.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, another participant of the upcoming Keels and Wheels in Seabrook, Texas, Jeff Taylor with Rover Trophy. We hope. Trying to get a hold of him right now. Jeff has this week's cruise-in calendar, and we'll have stories making automotive news this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And while we're waiting for Mr. Mars to hook up there with Mr. Jeff Taylor, I did want to say something. Leslie and I were talking about this last night. We were talking actually about a little thing that Mr. Mars sent to all of us, and that was that we have finally reached 100,000 downloads in our podcasts.
Fantastic. Congratulations, everybody.
Well, but it's really Mars. And I did want to, I did want to send kudos to Mr. Mars. I tease him all the time. I give him a hard time, and he takes it like a champ, and I don't know why. I do have a couple of slap marks here and there, but
those are from Leslie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Shh, don't tell anybody that. It is 420, you know. But at any rate, Mr. Mars does 90% of the work on this show throughout the week. He sets up all of the guests, works diligently on our social media stuff. He's basically got a full-time job with this car show, Monday through actually 7 days a week, to be honest.
Saturday mornings he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Before the show.
And then he drives 90 miles to get over here on Saturday mornings to do the show. And so I just wanted to give you a heartfelt thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
We
Mike.
appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it, but it is a team effort.
Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you what, you're really good at the abuse that we give you.
With all that being said, can you go fix that
been married for
monitor?
30
Fix that monitor.
Fix that
Been
monitor
married
over
for
there.
30-something years, so
Go put a wire in it.
a lot of practice.
Two
Put
wives
a wire
now.
in it.
Two wives.
Well, that makes it 46 if you go that way.
That's right, because you got Becky and then you got me.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well, now that we're getting up close to 50. Never mind. I don't even want to talk about it.
Out of that.
Exactly. No, he does an awful lot, and I just wanted to say that out loud.
Well, it takes away from his family and his mom
personal
and
life.
Becky and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and his grandkids.
Yep. And thank you too, by the way. I don't know what you do other than
Look pretty.
Look pretty.
I feel like a reverse Oreo here. We got two white shirts and a black shirt.
That's right.
We're double stuffed today.
It's a double stuff
Double
without
stuff.
a topping.
We're the munchie.
That's 420. That's what I'm saying. While we've got a moment, let me tell you about recalls.
Okay.
Toyota Motor Company said it will recall certain 2023 and 24 Prius and Prius Prime sedans. And I know that we have a lot of people that watch this show that drive Prius and Prius Primes. They're going to recall them because they need to replace the rear door opener switches, which the automaker says may encounter water intrusion and a short circuit. Recall involves about 211,000 vehicles globally, 55,000 in the U.S. Toyota said that if the doors are not locked and the electronic rear door latches encounter water and short circuit, they could potentially open while the vehicle is moving or is involved in a crash. Affected customers will be notified by mail in early June.
So is that from rain, flood, car wash? You washing your car in your driveway? Is that
any kind of water intrusion?
Humidity? I
guess all that. Take your car in. Other recalls include the Ford Bronco Sport and the Ford Escape, which are basically one and the same. 2022 to 23 models. Cracked fuel injector may leak and cause a fire. Whoops. Oil hose may burst on the Aston Martin. I know that you've got a couple in the garage.
No,
The
I've got to
DBX
check mine.
23 and 24. Oil hose. may
DBX
burst.
707 is an awesome car.
Pretty much every 23 and 24 Audi known to man, front
Really?
passenger airbag may deactivate. Yeah, Audis. A3, A4, A8, e-tron, Q3, RS. It's a whole list of them. I'm not going to.
All the alphabet.
Yeah, all of that. So, last one, Aston Martin DBX. Also, loose electrical cables in the battery fuse box. You know, that's not a good thing. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, I ran into Robert B. McIntyre
Oh.
a couple of weeks ago at the Cars.
Oh, yeah.
at the Chrome and Coffee.
We saw, we did.
And he had a carburetor fire in his 427 1970 Corvette. This was a couple of years ago, and it really did a lot of damage to the car, especially the distributor and everything. It was a big mess and cost him a lot of money. He didn't have a fire extinguisher, and he said, if I'd have just had a fire extinguisher, I'd have put the fire out. But I didn't. So my goal this week is to go and buy an ABC small fire extinguisher and put it in the car.
Yeah, why not?
It doesn't hurt, doesn't weigh anything. And
Where are you going to put it?
I'll put it in the back.
Yeah, as long as you have access to it.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
That's a good idea for everybody.
I
to have
could
one.
drill holes in the carpet and mount it right behind the seat, but I don't want
Then you'd have to move your nitrous bottle, and that wouldn't.
my nitrous bottle. No, nice, but anyway, I thought about that. I thought, it'd be my luck.
Do you have a
I've
first
worked-
aid kit? You probably need one of those too.
I don't know whether I do or not.
Just look at the small one and get them from the
you can get some of them
Walmart or
that are-
Target
that are
or whatever.
real small.
Yeah, a couple of Band-Aids and some methylate.
Methylate, mercurochrome.
Showing his age,
Dump some
yeah.
mercurochrome on it and scream like a kid.
Rub some dirt. Get a little box of dirt. Rub some dirt on it.
That's it. Anyway, so
Get some super glue to.
Well, that's what they do in surgeries now.
Yeah.
you ought to know.
Yeah, I know. They super glue
Lots of-
surgical procedures.
Yeah, the other reason I asked about where you were going to put it was I had one in my
Can we tell
truck.
them where to put it?
Yeah. I used to carry one in my truck, and I never needed it, but somebody else needed it.
Sure.
And I had to go in underneath the back seat of the truck. I had to fold the seat up, get the stuff out of the way. Anyway, it took what seemed like a long time to get it out, and it was very inconvenient if you're in a hurry. And I learned real quick, don't put it someplace that's
Well, I have to tell you,
hard to get to.
when you said where are you going to put it, and I thought, I'll put it in the back. And I thought, no, because if there's an electrical fire, guess what's not going to open? The rear
The
trunk,
hatch.
and it has no key back
key.
there.
Yeah.
So we don't put it back there.
got to be accessible from the
Gonna
doors.
going to have to probably put it behind the passenger
just
seat or
behind you
something.
somehow.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's a thought.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
I
good
guess
idea.
we don't have our guest.
No, I text him, and I got a text back saying, "Who is this?" And I went, "Okay." So I sent him the invite again, but apparently he
Yeah, who is this?
hasn't registered yet.
Let me say something real quick before we get in that.
Yeah.
Kylie, my granddaughter, bought a car yesterday, her first car. So in the next about 3 weeks, we're going to have her on with the description of her process.
Yeah, how old? You got to tell him how old she is.
She's 16.
Yeah,
and,
so very young.
She saved her money to buy the car. Obviously, she had some help from grandparents and her parents and things. But we're going to have her on the show in about 3 weeks with the salesman from Emmons Autoplex. Thank you, Gary and Jerry, for allowing us to go buy a car from you. I guess we could say that. Yeah. And it's going to be fun. So she's all excited.
You know, it's funny. We somehow have stumbled into Emmons. I guess through the drag racing.
Sure.
thing.
Yep.
And that has been a goal. Matter of fact, they gave us one of their hard-earned trophies. Can
Wally.
you see it here? The
Yeah.
Wally here.
Wally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, great guys. Really an upscale used car dealership. Not a lot, but a dealership.
It is a fantastic facility. The place was busy. The place was rocking.
Yeah. Well, they've got a great reputation down there in the Friendswood area, and I'll tell you, they're an upstanding group of guys. They're triplets. The three boys. They do a lot of drag racing, and they've got a great bevy of cars, mainly Camaros, old Camaros that they race in. different divisions of NHRA sportsmen, and great guys.
The
If
show
you ever
was
get a
awesome.
chance to, if you see them, they're going to have Lucas Oil painted on the side of the car. All the cars are white. And if you ever get a chance, stop by their pit, wherever they are, and say hello.
Yeah, because it's a big pit.
It is. Well, they got a lot of cars.
Yeah, they run a lot of
But
cars.
nevertheless, we're going to have her on with those folks in about 3 weeks. So
And by the way,
stay tuned.
speaking of reminiscing and thanking people, Mecum Auctions sent out a
Yes.
press release regarding Houston. $29.4 million in sales, 730 vehicles sold for a sell-through rate exceeding 71%.
Wow.
So 71% of the cars that were brought to
to the
Mecum
block.
got sold. And that's awesome. I didn't realize Walworth, Wisconsin is where they're headquartered. Okay.
Well, I knew it was in Wisconsin, but I wasn't sure where.
That's not Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin.
What'd I
But that's
say?
okay, Wisconsin. But, it is what it is. So
Where they make cheese.
we make a lot of cheese there. So some of the cars that were sold here, I got to give you the prices. 2008 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Roadster, $357,500.
Was that the number one sell?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Number 2 is the 2023 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon 170. Now, they didn't make very many of those.
No.
$242,000. Yikes. Mercedes-Benz 300 SL replica, $220,000.
Is that the Gullwing?
I think so.
Well, yeah, could be. Now we should be doing our guesstimations on what they sold.
Lamborghini Murcielago Roadster, $209,000. And here comes a trio of 2023 Dodge Challengers, SRT Demons 170s from 198, 198, and 192. $1,000. Okay. Chevy Corvette Custom Convertible, 181,000. That's a 1960. I don't know what I said. 1960 Corvette Custom Convertible, 181,500. An 89 Porsche 930 Turbo slant nose, whatever that is, 176,000. And another one of those 2023 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon 170s probably had about 10 more miles on it than the other
Probably
ones.
did.
Sold for $167,750.
Knocked it down a couple grand.
Yeah. So, at any rate, congratulations. Mecum is a great auction company. They come to Houston once a year. And if you didn't make it out this year, be sure and put it on your calendar for next year to go and see it, because it truly is a car show within an auction.
And it's once you get through looking at the cars, but the whole auction process is such a show with the lights and the sound and
And it runs so smoothly. You never miss a beat.
Well, it appears that way, but I'm sure there's little hiccups every now and then.
Oh, well, you know that there is. But what you see,
Yeah,
if you're sitting,
flawless.
if you're sitting, they got it
Yeah.
together.
And starting Thursday, I guess, started Pebble Beach for Barrett Jackson. Barrett
Yes,
Jackson
Barrett Jackson's
is on
running.
Pebble Beach, and
That's a whole different. That's a whole
Yeah.
different thing. That is
but so far as an auction,
a
running, yeah.
concours d'elegance with an auction attached to it. You know, Keels and Wheels had an auction company that they paired up with, at least for one season, I remember.
right.
And it took up a big footprint there on the property, and they don't have a lot of room.
No.
And was it worth it? I don't know. I'm not an auction guy. I don't go to all these auctions because that's not what I'm into. But
Yeah.
But you might imagine that it's probably, well, you said the footprint probably damages some of the property, and there's a lot of it's a very
Well,
pretty
because
pristine
if I
area.
remember right, they had a lot of their area. A lot of those cars were on the grass,
Right,
and not
and-
on the concrete.
Exactly.
They had some ramps to get up over the curb to get onto the grass with some of them. So it probably
So
was
you create
some
your own
damage.
chaos like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a show, Concours d'Elegance, it is a high-end show, has a lot of classic antiques, really specialized cars, and Keels and Wheels has definitely got all of that going for it. But they've also got themes, the Corvette theme, the Ferrari theme, the Ford versus Ferrari theme, and those are kind of like shows within the show. And those are kind of fun if you really do a little bit of homework. Don't have to do a lot. A little
Right.
bit of homework to find out about the show and those specialty items that they have within the show. Tons of fun.
And who's the number one? Well, number one. They're bringing a celebrity's car, a singing celebrity's car. And who's that? It's going to be Cher's going to have her Dino Ferrari there.
Yes, it'll be there.
So I don't know if Cher's going to be there, but
well, I heard a rumor. Well, I'm going to start a rumor.
yeah, start a rumor.
Yeah, start a
Don's
rumor.
going to dress like Cher, and
Well, they've got, you know what's in town right now is the musical Cher.
yeah,
Down at Hobby Center.
There you go.
Kind of putting two and two together there.
maybe they'll
She'll
have
just step out of that and
the
go
lead
to the other one.
the lead singer. She'll,
I think there's 3 lead singers. I think the Cher show is progression of her career.
yeah. So there's 3
So
of them.
I believe
Really?
there is. I haven't seen the show,
Okay.
but that's my impression I get when I see
So
the
which one's going to be down there with a car?
Tall, skinny
Don't
girl.
know. Don't know.
Tall, skinny girl
Tall, skinny girl.
Tall, skinny girl.
Uh-huh.
That sings.
that sings. Not Leslie. Leslie can sing. She comes from a musical family.
I know she does.
Yeah.
But she plays the drums.
she's-
I offer her all the time. You got to jump on my kit and rock out. Yeah.
Everybody wants to jump on your kit, Jeff, except us. It is 420, by the way. Just saying.
Oh my gosh.
Shall we do the cruise-in calendar?
Where
We
is
can.
Jeff Taylor?
But
when we
but
need
let's
him?
do that. Let's
Okay.
do that. And what we'll do is we're going to take a little break.
Gonna do
it'll give
first
you-
break? And
It'll
then-
give you time
Oh,
to
got it.
gather your thoughts and
Got
all of your computer stuff over here.
Yeah.
This monitor sure is up awfully high. You're trying to hide behind it this morning
No.
because you don't want to know me.
Well, let me drop that down. There
All
you
right.
go.
Well, whatever the case may
He's
be.
going to drop his top again.
Oh,
Lord,
boy.
here we go.
Lordy.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. Podcasts are on your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break, and I'll have an explanation for that voice when we come back.
Oh, no.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In-Wheel Time will be there too. We'll see you there.
Yeah, Keels and Wheels coming up. We will
You
be
betcha.
there on Saturday, and we're going to do special hours. Is it, 10 to 1 or something?
Yeah, 10 to 1.
10 to
Gates
1.
open at 10, and we'll be going
But
live
that's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yes.
2
Because
weeks.
next week, I will be on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas. So
Well,
will Jeff,
yeah.
and so will Mars, but Mars is going to cut out on Saturday.
Yeah, sad but true.
But so
Well,
we're gonna drive down there Thursday, and we're gonna do the big open thing around Town Square down there in Victoria.
I'm going Friday.
And you're going to go Friday?
Right.
You're not going to go Thursday?
No.
Okay. So Leslie and I are going to go Thursday, and then Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, we take off on Friday and head north out of Victoria up toward New Braunfels.
And then from New Braunfels to Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
And then Fredericksburg. We're coming back after that.
Yeah, we all are.
Now, so next week, since we're talking about it, we're going to be doing some filming, and we're going to do some interviews, and we're going to be putting together the show from the Thursday night activity and all day Friday and Friday night out at the drive-in, and then we'll package that up as our show for Saturday morning. So it'll be recorded. We won't be live, but it'll be from the live event that's going on that weekend.
Right. And then we're going to go to Samson's Performance. Is it Samson's Performance?
Yeah.
Is going to be
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we'll finish up Friday afternoon.
How fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah.
And you know how we like fun.
We do like
We
fun.
like fun.
And apparently the big hit was the after the show in the hotel in the lobby. With there was some drinking going on down there.
Little bit.
What, Mars?
Some drinking.
Drinking. Yeah, you and your brown water, sir. I don't think I did any drinking that night.
Oh, horse hockey. Gee whiz. You spilled a whole bottle of wine in the lobby.
He was the only one not getting up off
And
the couch.
it's on tape.
My gosh. That hotel.
Liar, pants, and fire.
But I have to say, it just dawned on me the correlation there. That hotel's now closed for remodeling.
Because of that.
That's it.
They're getting the wine stain out of the carpet.
Yeah, no, not the carpet, the wood floor.
Wood floor, that's what it was.
And they're trying to get the haints out of there, the ghosts.
Yeah.
Up there, in our room. All right.
Oh, in your room.
In our room,
Yeah.
with some mysterious knocking on the door
Okay.
after the lights went out.
Gotcha.
Cruise
Or the
in
walls.
calendar, Jeffrey.
Is brought to us by? Is it brought to us by someone?
No, that's the racing calendar.
Okay, well, the cruising calendar is brought to you by us. Lots going on. There's tons and tons of stuff to do today and tomorrow, but I've picked out some highlights. You got Clear Lake Cars and Coffee is today from going on right now till about 11 noon or so. It's at Grace Church at 14505 Gulf Freeway in Houston. Here's a new one for us. This is the LBX Annual Fly-In. It's at 8000 Airport Way in Angleton, Texas. It's not far, probably 45 minutes or so to get down there. It starts at 9 a.m., so just in a few minutes it starts. It's free. You got planes, model trains, cars, tractors, and it's a free event, so you can get down there and enjoy it.
Where is it?
It's in Angleton, Texas. I think it's
Angleton.
near where they have the where you can skydive and all that, near that place. I don't know if it's actually down there, but it's in Angleton. Then you got Cars and Brunch at 13150 Brenton Ridge Street in Houston. That starts at 10 a.m., so in a couple hour and so. They got brunch. The brunch is catered by Derby. I don't know that specific caterer in that restaurant, but it's by Derby. Gateway Classic Cars of Houston and Cypress Station, 1910.
Durwood Kirby?
No, just Derby.
Oh, Derby.
Derby. It's in Houston, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then tomorrow, Freddy's Frozen Custard Steak Burgers presented by Showplace Classics. That's in Pearland, 2620 Pearland. It goes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. this afternoon. And then you got the Spring Car Show in Easttown Center Circle in Houston. It's sponsored by the Kingwood Family Dentistry. It goes from 11 to 4
All right.
today.
All right. I've got lots of news today. From the annals of automotivenews.com or autonews.com, either way. You'll
Hit
get
it.
there. Tesla Cybertrucks are piling up at the automaker's Texas factory. On the Cybertruck Owners Forum, several reservation holders said their scheduled deliveries were canceled in recent days. Some said that they were told by Tesla customer service that there was a problem with the pickup's accelerator pedal that had to be fixed prior to delivery. Another forum user, Sabre, posted what they said was an official communication from Tesla customer service on Monday. There is currently a hold on the vehicle for replacing the accelerator pedal, the post said.
Wow.
Business Insider reported Monday that NHTSA was aware of the issue and in contact with Tesla. I'm glad somebody is because they don't answer the phone usually.
No.
As Tesla goes, so goes the U.S. electric vehicle market. Tesla's new registrations fell 25% in February compared with the year earlier month, dragging the broader battery electric segment into the red. According to S&P Global Mobility, the EV data does not include used vehicles or hybrids. February numbers represent a reversal from years of double-digit percentage gains. Analysts have been warning for months that EV growth was cooling as mainstream buyers balked at elevated sticker prices and worried about driving range and charging infrastructure.
No.
Me?
Did you write that?
Me? Did I complain? Yes, heavily. Total EV registrations fell 2.8% in February to 78,361, according to S&P's data. Electric vehicle share of the U.S. light vehicle market fell to 6.2% from 7% in February 2023. What are the top registrations by brand? Do you know?
I would say
At number 9.
Oh,
What were you going to say?
I thought we were going to start I was going to go to the top with
Let's go down to the number 10. Audi, 2,437. Chevy, 2,495. Volkswagen, 2,554. Mercedes-Benz, 2,808. Rivian, 3,251. Boy, I'll tell you what, I would run the other way.
All right,
And
we're at
the reason being is because they're new, they're teetering on the edge of going belly up. What are you going to do with your $100,000 car when there's no parts available? But whatever. BMW 3559, Kia 3722, Hyundai 3822, Ford 7656, Tesla 36,697.
What I would do is I'd rip out all those Duracell batteries and drop an LS in it.
You know, you have to ask yourself, even if Duracell does not make the battery, you would think that they would sell their name to a battery maker and say, hey,
Ever Ready or something like that. Yeah.
why not? What?
Because if you don't want to be associated with something you don't believe in, then you might
That's
not
a
want to.
good point, Mike. Good point. If you don't believe in their product, you want to provide parts for it.
Besides that, China's not going to pay them.
No.
That's where the majority of the batteries come from.
And if you drive it and
Not for long.
park it, 30 minutes later you want to drive it again.
Exactly.
And you got the bunny rabbit's going to hop out and beat the big bass drum.
yeah.
Don't forget
There you
that.
go. Forgot. Yeah, that's Everett.
And after Tesla said it was laying off more than 10% of its workforce, CEO Elon Musk apologized to the employees being let go. Not for putting them out of work, but that the company miscalculated some severance payouts. As we reorganize Tesla, it has come to my attention that some severance packages are incorrectly low. Musk said in a short email sent to employees on Wednesday and seen by Bloomberg News, "My apologies for this mistake. It is being corrected immediately." Got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Todd.
I don't hate Elon Musk.
No, I don't either. I think
he's a
it's
brilliant
great
guy.
that he's willing to step up and say that. But the next thing I would be asking is, who screwed up the program that caused that?
I'll bet you
screw-up?
they don't work there anymore. What do you think?
I would think
Didn't he
not.
have a lot of people leave? Oh, that was on the other business that he has.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back with hour number 2 right after this short break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thank you for joining us and welcome. Boasting 100,000 downloads.
Yep.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show ahead. Founder and president of Mobility Places, Rachel Allen, joins us. We're going to talk about parking in the big city, but not just regular parking. This is for parking, well, I'm not going to
let her explain.
Yeah, we'll
there
let
you
her
go.
explain, okay? Jeff has this week's racing calendar. Mr. Mars has a special feature on drag racing starting from the starting line. Howdy, along with Mike,
That's
out of this
where you
world,
start,
Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin, IT Director of Engineering, David Ainsley, and I am Joe Blow. It is 4:20.
You are
and
my father,
I did
Luke.
have to make mention of that. Joining us now, whether she likes it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Allen, founder and president of Mobility Places. Rachel, good morning. Hey, how are you?
Good morning.
Good
Doing
morning.
Well. How about you?
Good. It's good to see you, and I love that smile on your face. And I'm curious, why is there a smile there? Was it about my 420 comment?
Jeez.
I mean, it's a good day. It's a good day to be funny, you know?
It is a good day, Rachel. So where are you located? You in New York?
I'm in Tampa.
Oh,
You're in
Funny, you know, crazy Florida vibes. It's great.
Exactly. Are you a Florida native?
No, originally from Chicago.
Chicago.
close
Okay.
enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you found yourself in a good place down there, and we're glad to have you here. So explain to everybody what Mobility Places is and what you've got going for you.
Yeah. Well, really simply said, we help fleets park.
Fleets,
So-
meaning companies that have lots of vehicles and they need some place to park. And I would imagine that parking is at a premium in New York City.
It's wild. It's wild. So you guys were talking about Tesla and all of the things going on there, right?
Yep.
Well, Tesla is about to launch the Tesla network. So if you have a Tesla vehicle and want to actually share it when it's not in use, you'll be taking part of this Tesla network. So they're kind of forming as a competitor to some of the other ride share or car share companies in preparation for robo-taxis. Well, that's effectively a fleet, right?
Yep, yes.
That's a bunch of vehicles that need to be rebalanced and moved around the city so that people could share them. Well, what we do is we help these fleets park because they're going to need really cost-effective parking since they're looking at their assets as something that they want to monetize, right? So they're going to be looking at things a lot differently. They're going to want to park in convenient places for consumers to be able to pick them up. They're going to need a really easy way of getting in and out of parking garages, and it's a mess. Like, it's a highly fragmented industry of like how to get in and out of these things. And so we help, we solve all of that for them, as well as the insurance that they need to operate at.
And not only fleets, gasoline driven.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's
Well,
that.
yeah,
but
there's-
let's talk about EVs. That's a whole
Right.
other can of worms.
Right. And there are like so many interesting things going on in larger cities right now with EV infrastructure and parking lots. Because theoretically, parking lots are like the perfect place to deploy this infrastructure.
Of course.
But who's gonna pay for it, and what's the return on the investment there? So you have a lot of parking asset owners that are asking these questions, and they're asking, when will this pay off? How long will it take for this to pay off? But when you start to see new mobility companies form that are fully EV, or even corporate fleets start to become fully electric, all of a sudden that introduces a fairly large inbound demand for charging, and actually helps them with their return on investment.
Well, I have to tell you that not that long ago, I think you're aware of this, that General Motors pulled their cruise fleets out of cities because the cars weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, autonomous cars. Well, here in Houston, we, generally speaking, we don't really have too much of a problem when it comes to finding places to park, because this city is all spread out. I mean, hundreds of miles across. And I'm exaggerating that, but there's usually not. But not by much. Yeah. But I will say that this particular mobility company by General Motors, they bought or leased a half block of property, spent a bajillion dollars on setting it up for an electric charging station for all of the vehicles. So I flew over it this particular day, and looking down below, here are all these red and white cars all parked in there, and they're all hooked up to charging. Well, guess what? They pulled the entire fleet. Now what are they going to do? Well, with this parking lot that they have that's ready to go for charging. And that's just one little tiny niche of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting problem to solve. There's lots of fits and starts. There's lots of different nuances, whether it's the electrification.
How in the world did you get into this business? I mean, I'd be pulling,
so weird, right?
pulling my hair out trying to find places to park.
Yeah, so my background is in transportation and mobility technology. So I worked for multiple companies, multiple variations of transportation and mobility tech. Most recently, I was head of product of a peer-to-peer car sharing company. And parking was just a really, really, really big challenge for our business owners, right? And for us as a business owner.
Sure.
And so reached out to a bunch of peers in the shared mobility space to see how they were solving parking challenges. And it looked like we were all struggling with the same thing. So decided, hey, there's really nothing out there to solve this problem. Someone's got to do it for the industry. And so I wanted to tackle it. Because you see, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to you that here in Houston, there are developments that are under construction or have been modified, and there are large parking garages that are sitting there empty.
I'm going to that direction too. I know where you're going.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh, well, there's an opportunity. Have a whole garage full of, fleet stuff.
Yeah, because still fleets and consumers look for very different things when they want to park. So Rachel's looking for parking. She wants the closest, cheapest parking to the restaurant she wants to go to right now. Right? Fleets are very different. They look at demographics in a region and see if it's the right serviceable area for them. They are purchasing many times in large volumes. So they expect pretty aggressive discounts. They look for drainage in parking lots, right? And that data is not available because they need to operate their vehicles. They look for so many different things, and they really, really look to make the experience seamless across multiple parking facilities. So just kind of solving that data issue, making the data available so they know where to park, so they know if some of the vacant lots that you see in Houston are actually valuable for them. Is it true? Think of a plumber truck company, right? That's fleet. Is that a serviceable area for them? Well, there's people that need plumbing probably, right? But they just kind of look for all of these different things to make parking decisions. And so if parking asset owners can make their data a little bit more readily available, and we help them through a partnership to do that, and make the ingress and egress of getting in and out a lot easier, setting up the right pricing constructs, setting up, the right seamless insurance is is super important.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because the first thing that comes to mind, this city has little pockets of specialty. And what I mean by that, for instance, we have what we call the energy corridor.
Right.
And there are a lot of energy companies that are concentrated outside of the downtown Houston area. They're out on the west side, outside of the Beltway. That's between the Beltway and Highway 6 out there. And all of the major, not all, but the majority of oil companies have headquarters out there. These are large office buildings that always have parking garages, but they also have needs, and some of them have fleets. Where are we going to park it? How are we going to transition to EVs?
Yep.
And we also have a flooding issue here, which you've probably seen in the news in years past. It's not all the time, but we usually have one major event every 2-3 years where the whole city goes basically underwater. And I didn't even think about you and your job trying to find places that the cars aren't going to get flooded in some lot that's on the ground.
I have a suggestion. So you've got parking garages, and the parking garages, they're generally low for cars. You can't put pickup trucks or vans with ladders and things on them. Why not build specific? Why not build a 3 or 4 level parking garage on a patch of property, making it accessible to these vans and maybe some of these large pickup trucks, dedicating a floor to them, and then maybe the next floor is dedicated to nothing but EVs, and then have it as contract parking. And then maybe the top floor is, whoever, just normal sedans.
That's what you look for, though, isn't it, Rachel?
Why not build it that way from the get-go?
I think with new developments, like, that has to be mixed use parking garages.
Exactly.
To be the solution. They have to accommodate shared mobility use cases. They have to accommodate more of the service vehicle fleets. They have to accommodate and section off like electric vehicles. That has to be the future. But that future is slow, right? It takes a long time to build new infrastructure. So it's like, how do we take what we have today? How do we take all of the parking facilities that we have today and make them more efficient by either helping them bring in new fleet capacity, like what we were talking about in Houston, or in areas like New York, where parking is still a big challenge and consumers can't even find a spot. How do we help them optimize spaces with inverse consumer and fleet behaviors?
Do you look at cities that have low business occupancy? Because I know that the occupancy downtown Houston with all the skyscrapers isn't 100%. No city's got 100% occupancy. So they're probably 30, 40, 50, 55, 60% occupied. Why not look at some of the vacant facilities? Because I know that there's car dealerships that take over parking garages for their inventories, so they can carry more inventory for that parking, for that dealership.
Basically storage.
So contract out each floor for a particular business, or if you got an EV, you're on the 3rd floor because that's where our chargers are. You got a van, you're on the 1st floor.
Rachel, is there a repository for all of this kind of information that you pull from or that you try to get into, so to speak?
Yeah, go mobilityplaces.com.
So you're
We got all the data there. Yeah, no, that's where, that's where we have data about all of the parking facilities, demographic data, which is really important. Different pricing, but yeah, that's where we have all the parking.
So you're
data.
the accumulator. You're the person that finds all that information, or your company is. You find that information. Okay.
While she's laying on the beach in Florida.
In Tampa.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, we got that
Listen,
part.
work never stops.
Yeah.
Love what you do.
Let me give you an example. So I've got a company, and we've got a fleet of cars, and we also have a fleet of repair vehicles that go out, and they won't typically fit in a regular garage, a multi-story garage, because they're all built for automobiles. I had a 3/4 ton pickup truck here recently, and it barely barely fit in the garage, and then I continue to go into the garage a little bit further, and it takes the antenna right off the roof of it because it's too low for the pickup truck. And this is a factory pickup truck. This is not something
Right.
that
not
I
lifted.
modified. And so the garage was old, and it couldn't quite get this truck in it without causing damage to it. I mean, those are the kind of things that you have to look for. But back to the original question. So I've got multi-vehicles in my fleet. I've got repair vehicles, big one-ton trucks with utility boxes on the back of it. And then I've also got a complete set of sales vehicles, per se. So now I've got about 50 vehicles in total. Some of them I've got as electric vehicles. How am I going to find a place to park all of these that's close to me, that's easy for my employees to get to these vehicles? Because they got to have to bring their vehicle there too. So
Yeah.
Build it.
So
Gotta build it.
it's a multi-layer thing. Do you ever
It is.
do you ever sit back in your chair and go?
Not exactly how you did it, but I'm sure I have.
Yeah, something like that.
In addition to that, why not have an on-site service center for those fleet vehicles? Because there's a lot of companies that do fleet service, oil changes, tires, and things. Why not have that as part of that structure?
Do you put that together too?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So like basic things like dry washing vehicles, like if they're, going through some sort of shift change, basic things like, just checking on the oil, not really heavy maintenance, right? It's probably not the right place to do that in a parking facility,
simple
but
stuff.
light things, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what are you working? Give us an example. You don't have to tell me names, but give us an example of something that you're working on right now.
Okay, I'll give you an interesting one. With so a lot of rideshare drivers, a lot of your Uber
Yes.
and Lyft drivers, yeah, they don't own their cars. They rent their cars
And
from these really specialized car rental or peer-to-peer car share companies. And there's a reason why there's like specialization in like renting out your car to rideshare, just because of the mileage and stuff like that. There's different strategies there. And so in New York right now, there are these new insurance regulations that make it incredibly, incredibly difficult to run a profitable car share for rideshare business. They've just raised the policy limits to be so high, it doesn't make economic sense. And so you have all of these businesses in New York, these entrepreneurs that may have bought like 50 vehicles, which is a lot, right? And they're forced to make a decision. They see the writing on the wall. They see that they can't profit anymore with the insurance requirements. And so they're like, hey, do we close down business, or do we move into neighboring states, or do we move across the country to other geos that we're more familiar with? Well, when they're making these decisions to move their business, they need parking, and that's kind of the first line of decisioning they make.
Like a taxi cab company.
Right.
It's exactly like that. And so one of the things that I'm working with multiple different car share for rideshare companies on is just helping them understand the demographics in the different regions that they want to move to. Like, will there be rideshare drivers that are going to borrow my vehicles, that are going to rent my vehicles? Like, where do they live? How do I make it easy for them to get to? And then helping them find really cost-effective locations, because a lot of they're scared. I mean, imagine if tomorrow your business changed. You don't know what the next, business.
By some city council vote, everybody says, okay, we're going to raise it to $1 million for you to do business. And I don't
Right.
bring in $1 million a year, much less
Yeah.
to be able to put groceries on my table.
Right. And it's just so wild. So they're scared. So they're looking for like cost-effective pricing in the right area to take this risk to move a state. And by the way, talking about service, they have whole networks of service providers that they trust. They've got their guy to go to for their oil changes, their guy to go to for maintenance. Like they gotta find a new service network.
Yep.
So they gotta maybe move their families.
I've-
Because this is the business they've invested in. This is the business that they know.
So before we run out of time, though, I wanted to ask you, you're doing that for an existing business. I got a business in New York. I can't afford it anymore. What about the guy that thinks, I'd like to start a business?
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
or the folks that are bailing out of certain states, West Coast states, coming to mid-country state, Texas
Midwest,
and Florida,
yeah.
going out to your Florida, approaching them. Hey, I know that you're moving your business out of California, Michael. You're moving to whatever city. I can help you with that. So there's an opportunity there.
For sure. Anyone that needs to park a fleet, whether it's, a plumbing truck or a large car share, ride share company, like
In real
if
time
they need
fleet.
parking,
Well,
Yeah,
I will say this,
woman.
that rent car fleets all the time deal with this. Even if they're established as a Hertz or an Enterprise, whatever it is, they have to go out. They have to find something that's convenient, generally off the freeway somewhere where you can go and rent a car. Airport is a no-brainer there.
Yeah.
But what about the guy that got his car in the shop for a week or two? Forecast that he's going to be there without a car. Now I need to get over there to the Enterprise. Well, the Enterprise has got to have so many cars available to rent, and they got to have a place to park them all. Never even thought about that, Rachel.
yeah.
She's
Yeah.
in.
She's in. You're in
on that.
All right. So, how do our viewers that deal with fleets all the time, and maybe you can give them a helping hand in guiding them into what they're supposed to do with the coming few years with this transition to EVs? How do we get a hold of you?
Go to mobilityplaces.com. My contact information is there. I'm happy to sort through any sort of challenges, whether it's, making sure that if you have an electric fleet, it's placed in the right areas, making sure that if you're making business decisions, you're right in front of your customers. If you just need to park a bunch of vehicles, whatever the need is, we work through it with you.
Cool.
So please feel free to reach out.
Well, Rachel Allen, it is an absolute pleasure and delight to talk to you. Mobility Places is the name of the company. Get online and talk to her. She's the girl. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah, thank
you.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you later.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
take
Bye.
care.
Very
How fun.
interesting.
And have a gas station in there, too.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
got charges for EVs, have a gas station, have a
The
little
in-wheel
oil change
time gas station. It only makes sense.
Different
Yeah.
kind of gas, though.
Well, it is 420.
Yeah.
Time now for the no.
Yep.
No,
We'll break?
wait,
Could
I
be.
think we're going to take a break.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we should.
We need to take a break.
Way past.
and then we're going
due.
to talk to the man of the hour, Jeff, on his racing
boy.
calendar.
Here you go.
All right. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeart Radio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk and podcasts from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on 420. I'm going to make it a theme. I'm going to. I have made it a theme
I was going
here.
to say, yeah, it's it.
Oh, did I miss Keels and Wheels? I did.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
okay. Well, I'm sorry. We'll
all right.
make it up.
We will.
Okay. Is that okay? Can
That's
we
fine.
make it up?
Yeah, not a problem. I just want to make sure we're on
Yeah.
schedule.
I don't know why I cut it
I
short.
don't know.
Anyway, time now for the racing calendar, sponsored by Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Yes, thank you for that. Well, today is Talladega.
Oh, it is.
Well, for the Xfinity,
I've been to Talladega. Have you ever been there?
No, I never have. Been
Massive.
by it, flew over it. But tomorrow's the Talladega for the Cup guys. Today's Talladega for Xfinity. That is on Fox. Tickets are still available, Michael, if you want to go. That's at 3 p.m. this afternoon. IMSA Racing is in Long Beach today, and I believe it's like at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's coming on. I don't have the channel, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be on one that we don't have.
Oh, that channel.
Yeah.
And also, Indy is tomorrow. Indy Racing is tomorrow. They're in Long Beach also, so they're sharing the track. And then we've got our favorite Formula One. They are doing the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. There was some controversy this past week because they painted the track for some reason, for grip or whatever, and the drivers don't like it. Just a lot of problems with it. So there you go.
Well, me love you a long time.
Yeah. NHRA's off this week, by the way.
They are?
Yeah.
What is it, Mars?
Nothing.
Are you being entertained down there?
I
You're
am.
entertaining.
Somebody
I'm
on
being
one of your
entertained.
computers?
No. Yes, at the end of the day,
is
it's-
all-
Your impersonation is what got
Hey,
my
what was it with the
attention.
squeaky voice? The
Oh, yeah, you never did explain
you never did
that.
explain the squeaky.
Well,
that one. Yeah, that's the one.
there's some commercials on the radio and on the TV that's got the guy with the high voice, and he
Sound like Mr. Haney.
it's kind of like that. It is kind of like that, and it's a referral service, friends. Really, it's a referral service. Tell him old so and so sent you. And so he gets money in his pocket for telling them that you said, no. Guess who pays for that? You
do.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Do us. Do this.
Yeah, do this. We ain't going to steer you down the wrong road.
Well, not the first time, anyways.
The first time. Yeah, exactly. So I did want to mention that. We're kind of in an era where for whatever reason, they want to have the owner of the company do the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's a guy on television that is gotten into red tennis shoes and kickboxing people.
I think it's hilarious.
Do you?
I like that guy.
So it's nothing against him personally, but it's like, hey, Don, where'd you buy that car? Remember that guy that's in the showroom kicking people and telling them crazy things? I'm sorry. I can't buy my car there.
Maybe we should do a segment on old commercials. Like, what was the lady? Not Doris Day. Was it Doris Day did Chevy commercials? Who was that?
No,
Driver Chevrolet.
Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore.
Like stuff like that. Maybe we'll come up
Burt
with
Reynolds'
something.
girlfriend.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Really?
I think it was.
Okay.
Starting rumors.
I think he was also dating or something with the little short girl from
Sally Fields.
Yeah. Lonnie Anderson.
Dinah
and
Shore,
lots of-
Sally Fields.
The Flying Nun.
Yes. That I don't think she was in uniform that day.
Okay.
Hey, we'd like for you to get in touch with us. All you have to do is shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. And be sure and follow us on Facebook just for the heck of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make fun of us, talk to us,
Subscribe to us.
subscribe, do something.
Be
Just
the-
do anything.
Download the podcast and be the 100,001.
There you go. That'd be great.
Yeah, Michael, come to your house and cook your breakfast.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after this break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
And don't forget, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance.
Yep.
See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking, and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday, Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. In Wheel Time will be there too, and we hope to see you there.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us on today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Ahead, Alex Peets from Peets Performance Tunes in Tomball, Texas. Later, Jeff has this week's Motor Minute. I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy along with Mike out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. IT genius David Ainsley will be joining us next weekend. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on today's live broadcast. If you're listening or watching on this Saturday morning, it is a live show.
Well, always good to see David.
8 to 11, yeah. It
Always
is,
good
it
to
is,
see
and
him.
we haven't seen him in a while.
He's a fun guy.
Well, he's been busy. Been out to Las Vegas to the National Association of Broadcasters convention. That's always a busy time. I've been to that a couple of times, and wow, you've never seen so much electronic gear in all your life. I wouldn't know what to do.
He should take Mike with him, and Mike would get lost.
Well, that's why he sent me a text. He said, I need to go out there and bring 2 credit cards.
Exactly. You really should. Of all the people that really needs to go to that,
Be you.
that would be you.
Yeah.
So all the money that you're making off of this show,
That's why I'm driving the Corvette that I want. Yeah, exactly.
I saw that Corvette.
That white one?
Yes, they had it locked up, and they had a picture of you with a circle slash on it. Not to touch it.
Yeah.
right.
So
So
we've got him.
There's that.
Yep.
Okay. Alex, is your last name Peets?
Pites.
Pites. Of course it's Pites. Leave it to me to jack it up. Sorry. But I just figured that, what the heck. I'll give it a shot. Then I didn't know. So it's Alex Pites, Pites Performance Tunes. Alex, how long have you been in business out there?
It's about 10 years for this company.
Great.
How in the world did you get into performance tuning?
Well, that's quite the story there. I think I was about 15, maybe just turning 16. I had a 98 Mustang GT. That was my first V8 car that I owned. Prior to that, I had a couple DSMs. I had a 3000 GT VR4. I had my first car was actually Plymouth Laser. If you're familiar with those, a 92 Plymouth Laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a Laser, and yeah, it was like a little 1.8 liter. It wasn't super fun, but got me into it. And then I got into the 3000 GT that I actually bought with paper route money because I had started my paper route back when I was like probably 12 or 13, however old I was. And then bought the 3000 GT in Kansas City with paper route money. I think it was like $5,500 I paid for it. That was VR4 twin turbo all-wheel drive. Thought it was the greatest thing in the world. But then I realized that thing was just a money pit. So I ended up selling it, and then I found V8s, and I've never went back since. So I got the Mustang. It actually came with a little Diablo handheld tuner. I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with those.
Yes, exactly.
And the Diablo actually allowed me to add, subtract timing, add, subtract fuel, and so that's pretty cool. And I could also do like basic data logging. I really didn't have much of an idea of what I was doing, but just through basic research and like literally I would go out in the middle of the night. I was in Iowa, basically nothing but cornfields all around me. I would go on a 2-lane road, and I would time myself. Okay, how fast did I go from this point A to point B? And then I'd make adjustments and time myself again and look at my mile per hour. And that was kind of my dyno at the time. And then I just kind of took it from there. But I ended up joining the military. So I was in the Army from the age of 17 to
And you were
23.
hot rodding Jeeps in the Army.
Yeah. Well, we were more Strikers and Humvees. But,
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep. So I was in the Army for about 6 years. While I was in, I did a lot of research. I had different cars throughout the time. I had a 06 GTO. I did have one more 4-cylinder car. That was a SRT4 Neon. That was a pretty cool car.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. And I had just various other cars. I would help buddies out. And then when I was deployed, I would just do nothing but research tuning. Just whenever I was not on mission or writing reports, I was just researching tuning, collecting whatever information I could, because I knew I wanted to do something with cars and computers and keep going on that path after I got out. So after I got out, finished college, and actually started my first shop back in Iowa. And I had that shop for a decent amount, maybe just a little over a year or so. And then I ended up going to a tech school down here in Houston. Went to that tech school, linked up with another shop here in just outside of Houston, and they needed a dyno, they needed a tuner. So I actually moved after school finished up. I moved my dyno down here to the shop here, but I was actually already interviewing for a position out in California with LSX TV. So they wanted an editor, but they also wanted a tuner, like an in-house tuner that was also going to be the editor. So I was, working on getting that job, but I was going to do remote tuning for the shop where I moved my dyno to for the time being. Well, right at the last minute, they told me they couldn't give me the job because of administrative reasons or whatever it may have been. But at that point, I already had my house sold, just got divorced actually, and my whole life was like in this U-Haul, big, whatever they are.
Yeah.
30-foot trailer, and I had my Firehawk in the back. So I had the big U-Haul, and I had a car trailer in the back with the Firehawk, and I was heading out to California one way or another, come hell or high water.
Wow.
So I actually drove through and picked up my buddy who I met at tech school here. He was in Colorado. Picked him up in Colorado and got out to California. And then right after that, I started looking for jobs. And I went on Indeed, actually, and Celine was hiring for a calibration engineer. So I applied, and a week and a half later, I was working at Celine. So, I was with Celine for just like a little bit under a year. It was pretty cool.
How was it working for Steve Celine?
He's very intricate. He's very particular, but that's good. Those are good qualities to have.
Yeah.
And somebody of his position, and he really was proud of his road racing.
Yeah, we've had him
That's
on the
really
show.
Started getting my introduction to road racing, and the S7, all the success that thing had, that was an amazing platform. And every room at Celine, we had different names for different tracks that he'd won at in Le Mans. I believe, or not only Le Mans, but all the different
Road racing circuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. But then, he would come in, and he would like point or count the number of chairs in each room, and he'd say, "Hey, there's not the right amount of chairs in here. Somebody took a chair out here. Put the chair back." Stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, needless to say. So how did you wind up here?
Well, so while I was at Saline, I ended up, I was still doing some tuning for that other shop. And I started doing some other remote tuning in the meantime, like in the evening. And the shop that I had moved my dyno to, they said, "Hey, we need a full-time tuner and we want to use you." And I was like, yeah, the production tuning thing was kind of, it was good, but I wanted to do more custom tuning. I wanted to do more racing. I wanted to do some other aspects of, the job.
Bigger things.
And so I left Saline and went to work full-time for the company that was here in Houston. And so, that was that.
And you just loved us so much, you said, "I'm going to pick up and move there."
Yeah, well, this would be the second time I'd moved to Houston. I moved there for, school, and then now I moved here for this job. But then it keeps going after that. I mean, I don't want to take you too far deep down my rabbit hole of my story, but, I'll kind of try to, sum it up. I ended up leaving that place and then started doing a lot of freelance tuning in Houston. But in all that process of being at Saline and where I'd been, I met different people through HB Tuners because I was helping HB Tuners with getting into the Coyote platform because we had a lot of Coyote cars at Saline, right? And so in the process of doing that, they said, "Hey, the tuning school is hiring. They want somebody who can, help them develop this book on tuning Fords using HB Tuners." And so I said, "Yeah, I can do that." And so I actually moved down to Florida and started working at the tuning school and was their lead instructor.
Bottom line is that you followed your passion and wound up here with your own place.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
Congratulations. I don't know whether Mars told you or not, but somebody that turned us on to you, and that would be Mr. Borcherding over at Paint House. And,
yeah, that's he did tell me about that. Yeah.
Yes, and because I asked him, I said, "I need somebody that can help me with the tune on my 2001 LS1 Corvette," and he gave us your name. And then Mars says, "Yeah, he doesn't do LS1s, but everything after that he does." So I'm thinking, pardon me?
I tune LS1s.
Good. That's good to hear. And so I wanted to present you with this scenario. Now, this is a stock LS1 with a K&N filter on it, and it's got a Corsa catback exhaust system on it, 6-speed manual transmission, but everything else is stock on it. And I've been doing some reading on some of these guys, putting on blowers, putting on turbochargers, and from what I gather, when you start putting boost into them, you can crack cylinder walls, and mainly valve springs are not really set up for boost. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to go that far, but I know that there's more potential in that engine without, really hurting the engine or potentially hurting the engine. I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to get a hold of somebody, and I couldn't find anybody. And Randy Borcherding says, "Call Alex." And I said, "Okay, well, so that's how we got you on the show. Can you help me?"
Sell it.
Sell it. No, we're not selling the car. It's only got 33,000 miles on it.
Wow. Yeah, sounds like a cream puff.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of like my Firehawk. That thing was, super low miles, very nice. It was LS Firehawk, not LT Firehawk. But yeah, no, certainly can help you out with that. It just, for a lot of my customers, what I try to break it down or boil it down to basically is how much horsepower do you want to make and how much money do you want to throw at the project, right? That's what it boils down to.
I don't want to throw any money to the project. That's the bottom line there. But no, I mean, I could certainly understand spending some money doing it, but I don't want to.
You want to go exotic.
Yeah, and I don't want to put any aftermarket boost on it or anything like that. At least I haven't talked to you. I'm talking to you now, and I don't want to go crazy with it. And I have a limited budget to begin with. So, what do you think? How would you advise me? Which way to go?
I would just start with, optimizing what you got, right? Yep. So, retuning the car with the intake system you have and the exhaust, and I mean, just tuning them stock. they were fairly, I wouldn't say detuned from the factory, but they weren't optimized at wide open throttle. The LS is actually one of those vehicles you can actually get some power out of being a naturally aspirated V8 and just tuning the vehicle. So typically, I want to say we see about 20 horsepower gains from tuning it, especially with having some kind of an intake system on it and exhaust, which is helpful in those cars, and also tuning the car. So that's where I would start. And just also you could just even start with the baseline on the dyno, see where you're at, and then say, okay, what's my air fuel ratio right now? What's timing? Do I have any knock? Is the car running correctly? Is it? Okay, great. Then you've got a good baseline. Because I tell everybody you can't tune a car unless it's mechanically sound. If the car's not mechanically sound, then you have to get that right, and then you can tune the vehicle. So that's where I would start with that. Do your basic tune-up, plugs, wires, so on and so forth. Fuel filter if you haven't changed that in a while. Because it sounds like the car sits for a majority of its life.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
just want to make sure everything's good to go there, and then get on the dyno, and then read the current file out.
I don't even know where the fuel filter is on the car.
It's I can't remember exactly on that particular application, but typically it's not too far from the fuel tank, so it's going to be probably a third of the way up the car. Under it, there's going to be an inline fuel filter there,
Pressurized.
Yeah. So like the C5, actually the fuel filter and the fuel pressure regulator are integrated into one. So it's a very popular fuel filter or regulator to use in LS swaps, like in the Blazers and stuff like that. Guys are putting LSs in them. They'll just use the fuel pressure regulator / filter from a C5, and that's how they get their 58 PSI base pressure.
Interesting. See, he knows all this stuff. Yes, Mars?
So I'm wondering, because sooner or later I'm going to have one. But so as a tuner, so Don comes over there and he says, okay, I've got here's my my C5. Do you do, as part of your process, change the plugs, the plug wires, and all that stuff as part of getting the car to that baseline, or should he do that before he comes to you?
Yeah, certainly it's a good idea to do it beforehand. And a lot of people will advise them. They'll ask me, okay, what plugs do you want in it? Okay, what gap do you want? And so on and so forth. So we advise them of that. And then plug wires, obviously are a good thing, especially with people who have like headers and things like that. Plug wires get brittle, they get hot, and they start to break. So that's like the number one thing that we want to look for. Of course, the ignition system that's working well. Another thing on an older vehicle, especially a vehicle that's sat around quite a bit, and depending on what ambient conditions you're in, if it's very humid, it's going to have a bigger impact. But I would also get the injectors flow tested and clean, because we see a lot of problems with injectors as well, especially a port injection setup as opposed to a direct injection setup. So it's a good idea just to get that baseline stuff out of the way prior to putting it on the dyno.
So, okay. So, if I engage you to help me on this, you'll guide me along the way. Now, would you do the fuel filter? Would you do the spark plug wires? Do you have the capability of doing that out there at your shop?
Yeah, we certainly can, and we certainly do.
Yeah. And so I could say, okay, Alex, I'm coming out there, and I'd set up a date and time with you, and we would get to work. You would. I would stand back and watch and hand you tools. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anakanapana. So there would be one of those kind of things. And you're good with that?
Yeah.
Well, there's some hesitancy in your answer there, and I'm thinking, no, he doesn't want me there. He wants me to drop off the car and let him do his thing.
Probably.
That's usually the preferred method, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to kind of see it on the dyno and see what it'll do, and I want to see how you do that,
Yeah, so typically what I do in those situations is for all the introductory things or the baseline mechanical components that we address, is we'll have the vehicle there, get that stuff kind of looked at, give it a once over, do a health check, make sure everything's good. And then, once I'm on the dyno and, I get a baseline, I'll send that information to the customer. And then, I'll say, hey, come on over, come check it out on the dyno. Because everybody wants to see the car on the dyno. They want to hear their car run. I get that. It's a lot of fun. And so, at that point, then I'll say, hey, come on over. Let's check it out together, take video, do whatever you want to do, have some fun with it. And then, then I got to go take the vehicle off the dyno. And then the most important part is test driving it on the street. Make sure your drivability is correct and good. Make sure, it drives as it should. And then that's really where the meat and potatoes comes in. So it's difficult because I have a very comprehensive process, and so it sometimes takes a while. And also, given the fact that I'm running the business and doing all the tuning, it's very difficult for me to sit down in one spot for 5 hours at a time and get one thing done because I'm spread thin in so many directions.
Right.
So I typically advise my customers, hey, I'm good at what I do. I'm in high demand. So it just requires a little bit of
patience.
So a good thing for me to do would be to drop the car off, say, "Here you go, Alex, go for it."
Yeah, but then when I'm ready, of course, I want you to be a part of that process, towards the end and make sure you know what's going on. And, of course, keep you informed along the way.
Oh, my God, it's like Christmas. I can't wait to open that present at the end.
Okay, so he'll be there at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
No, he will not.
So how long does that typically, Don comes in there.
5 hours.
Well, that's if he sits down and does it. But the whole process, how long would you want the car for? Typically. Typically,
we advise our customers that's about 2 days.
God,
that's
it's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you would have it for a week because you're in Tomball and I'm in Sugarland, and I got to get out there and I got to get back. So you understand?
Is that workable for somebody to leave the car that long?
We do stuff like that all the time. That's our typical in-house tune customer because you got different companies do it differently, of course. But I really try to slow it down a little bit. Let's focus on X, Y, Z, right? Let's get through all the whole process, or A to Z, if you will. So that way we make sure that we have a comprehensive look and we understand what's exactly going on with the vehicle. Because 9 times out of 10, I get a car in, it needs more than just a tune, right? If I had $1 for every time somebody told me, oh, it just needs a tune, I'd be way more wealthy, or I'd be wealthy man actually. But I'm just a poor hot rodder, But so it's interesting how many things you run into that you have no idea is even a problem. So you've got
What are you working on now? What do you got in the shop?
Right now, actually, what I have on the dyno is a C8. Pretty big into the C8 market right now. We've got a lot of Challenger Hellcats and stuff like that we work on as well. But C8s has been our big thing for the last 4 years. It's a 416 cubic inch C8. It's got twin turbos, dual, twin 64, 66 turbos, E85 fuel system. Everything you basically throw at those cars, it's got, right? And so it should make about 1,100 wheel horsepower on my dyno.
Okay, that's what Don wants. Don wants that.
Yeah. Maybe we could trade out that C8 motor for my C5. Yeah, no.
One hand and
yes.
Listen, we
C5 here too. By the way, they're a lot of fun.
So we're running out of time, but I want to have you back on another time, and we'll get more into it because I find it fascinating what you do, and I've been looking for you for a long time. We have Randy Borcherding to thank for our meeting, and we appreciate all of your information, and I know that you're busy and chomping at the bit to get back out to the shop. I get that, but it's been a pleasure talking to you. We're going to talk, and I'm going to call you on the telephone, and we'll set up something.
All right. Yeah. No, sounds great. I appreciate you guys having me on, and by all means, if you need anything else, let me know.
There was a cartoon back in the 50s, and in the cartoon, I think it said something along, "You'll be sorry." Because now we're going to be knocking on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Alex, hey, man, what are we going to do here?"
Or you get that call for bail money. That's
the other thing, too. Alex, great talking to you, my friend. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.
All right, you guys take care.
Right.
You do the same. Alex Pites Performance Tunes out in Tomball.
Wealth of information for that young man.
In Real Time Car Talk show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Real Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly live show on Facebook, YouTube, and InRealTime.com. Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. In Real Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In Wheel Time will be there too. We'll see you there.
Hey, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com. Jeff has the Motor Minute for us.
I do have a Motor Minute, and this is all about... hold on. This is all about slang and car terms from back in the day. So I've got a couple for you. What did the words banger mean when you were growing up?
Oh.
Well,
depends on how you spell that.
Banger was how many cylinders? Like a 4-cylinder, 4-banger,
4-banger, yeah.
Fadeaways. What were fadeaways?
Fadeaways? What were fadeaways?
Fadeaways were the fenders. Rather than the fender sticking out, they pronounce bump. They faded into the car,
Body, yeah.
Sort of like a 41 Packard.
Okay.
So I've got it kind of screwed up here. What is a Louis? You know what a Louis is?
Louis.
No, it's get up to that corner and give me a Louis. That would be a left turn.
Okay.
How about that? What about a Ralph?
A Ralph
would be a right turn.
Okay.
And I've got one. I know we're short on time. Suicide knob. Suicide knob. We put it on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Of course, on the steering wheel.
You know, they say they're illegal, but they're not illegal. It was the Brody knob because a guy by the name of James Brody almost died using it. They invented them so that you could turn the wheel with your left hand and keep your right arm around your date.
Huh.
All right. And
that's the reason?
That's the reason.
Okay.
And this is this right here. I don't know if you know who this person is or not on the screen there.
Dagmar.
That is Dagmar. That is Virginia Ruth Jeannie Lewis. She was born in 1929, November 29th in 1921, passed away in 2001 October, but she is the original Dagmar. She professionally...
Remember you had Dagmars on your Cadillac.
Yep. She was in Broadway. She was on TV. She was on the Milton Berle Show, Bob Hope, Frank Sinatra, and Mitch Miller. So that didn't go well.
With Mitch.
That didn't go well.
God. Yeah. Dagmars. Well, I thought I saw that picture flash by. I thought there's Dagmar.
There it is. There's Dagmar.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you for that.
Okay.
Let's see. We don't have time for anything else right now. We got to stay on time. So we're going to move on to the third hour of our show, live show, here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. So we invite you to stay tuned for that while we regather our thoughts. I got all caught up with Alex and ran behind, so you just have to forgive me for that.
Okay, that's all right. We're good.
Or don't forgive me. All right. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
Welcome to the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, now with 100,000 downloads to brag about. Just ahead, Tom's lost relative from the Granbury Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's Tammy Dooley.
All right.
You'll hear my thoughts on driving the new 2024 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X. And Mr. Mars has this week's events calendar. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, howdy along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. We're glad you could join us on this Saturday morning for our live show. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. There she is. There,
Wrong one. There you go.
Well, I had to do that. You know that. You know me.
You are all so funny. I just love you. I just love you. I had a bet with myself. I wonder if they're going to mention Tom Dooley, and I knew it.
Now, not that you're married to Tom. What's your husband's name?
Mike.
Mike Dooley. And I'm sure that some of us old people will mention to him, are you any relationship to Tom Dooley?
Notice what Mike and I aren't involved in the old people discussion. We're not involved in that.
I know. I said before, if you know who Tom Dooley is, you're of a certain age.
Yeah, Don.
That's politically correct. Tammy Dooley, how have you been? We haven't talked to you in a year.
I know, and it's almost time. I've missed you. I'm excited you're all coming back. We're ready in Granbury.
Well, we're looking forward to having you join us up there at the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Yeah, it's the state run is what they call it. I don't know if that really is fitting these days,
well,
state run.
We know a lot about state-run facilities.
Well, we do know about state-run facilities. But at any rate, we're going to be up there. It's a wonderful cruise-in car show, a 2-day weekend event, and it's coming up in a couple of weeks.
First weekend in June.
Oh, that's right. So we got a little ways to go. 5 weeks?
We got a couple of
5 or 6 weeks to go.
We got a couple of more things.
We've got so much going on. I can't keep up with all of it. But at any rate, how are things in Granbury?
Things are great. I think their dates are June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and we are ready. I think since last time you were here, Granbury was officially designated as the celebration capital of Texas.
Yep.
Well,
So,
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. We are very much promoting that. It's a huge honor for us, and we are celebrating all year long. So you're coming at a great time.
Well, I have to tell you that I had never been to Granbury before the Lone Star Street Rod Association invited us up there. What was that, 3 or 4 years ago, Mike?
Yeah.
Something like
And,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
3
like
years.
that. And we got to meet you, and what a delight, and what a beautiful little community that is. What are you, an hour south of Fort Worth?
A little bit closer than that, about 35 to 40 minutes, depending upon where you're going in Fort Worth, and a little bit further to Dallas. So about 80% of our business comes from the Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex, and which is so huge. And so they all love to come to Granbury for a weekend getaway.
Now, are you having to deal with the same thing that we are here? We used to have Katy, Texas, out in the middle of the prairie between Houston and San Antonio, and now it's all swallowed up by Houston. Is that happening up there?
It is. It is. Granbury is a retirement community officially, and we're on a 28-mile lake, river lake, and so many people have second homes here, and they come here to retire. And but now we're getting industry and new businesses, and we have younger families moving in. So the expected growth is pretty significant over the next 10 years.
Is that something you want?
I think it's inevitable. I think when you have a great community that people love, they want to be part of it. And there's growth all over Texas. So, yeah, we're happy. We're happy. We want to maintain our historical charm and small town feel, but at the same time, we embrace it, and we're preparing for it.
As long as it stays Granbury. Don't go
Yes.
changing.
No, we're not changing. We're embracing and evolving.
So the mayor and the city council up there, is it a love-hate relationship, or is it just all love for Tammy Dooley?
Oh, I don't know about for Tammy Dooley, but I will tell you, I don't know how often you hear this, but we have a great city council, a great city manager, and they work really hard and keep your fingers crossed they all get along and do what's best. So we get a lot accomplished.
Well, and I feel that it's important, and I don't believe that there's been a city like Granbury and you that have welcomed this car show and the car culture up there. It's a very special kind of a deal. We've got connected with guys down there at the Hot Rod Tour of Texas down in Victoria. And this will be the 3rd year that this has been going on, and my 3rd trip down there. And I have to tell you, that's the kind of feeling that we get down there as well. This will be the first year that they're going to start everything off for this tour, and it's 350 cars traveling basically north through the hill country up there toward you. And it is really something to look forward to, because this is the first year that they have done it around Town Square. It's also the county seat, so the county courthouse, just like yours, county courthouse in the middle and the Town Square around it. So we're all going to invade and take over that. And that kind of reminds me of Granbury, that small town feel that we all in this big city want to visit occasionally to get that small town feel back in our lives.
I think that's right. I think people want that. And, in Granbury, the Lone Star Street Rod Association is a huge deal for us. And so we appreciate their business. And, a lot of times in tourism, you have good business and you might take it for granted. And we don't do that here. And we realize that all of our groups can go anywhere. And so we have a wonderful conference center. You've been to the whole complex there with Hewlett Park, and we would rather keep all of our business. And so we hear that a lot. Our groups say they've never been treated as nice as they have been in Granbury.
Well, what a testament to you. Do you have Mayberry days there in Granbury?
We do not have Mayberry days, but we have some great events. And like I said, that's what we've become known for. We do have a wonderful Founders Day event in March where we celebrate our history, and we have a bean queen and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, we have constant events. We're getting ready for our annual wine walk, which is next weekend, and I wish you were here for that because it is wonderful.
Is it a wine walk or is it a wine crawl?
stagger.
Well, it's supposed to be a walk and a dance and all the other things, and we only sell 5,000 tickets, and so it's a kind of a hot commodity, and people love it. They come from all over Texas to.
Do you have any scalpers?
I may be able to hook you up.
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
I'm looking forward
So-
to it. Go ahead, Mike.
So you have all these events, but last year we actually got to experience Friday night down around the square.
Yes.
I mean, and that was, to me, I've been to some other small towns that have the square, okay. But that, to me, was amazing.
It is, and there's a wonderful vibe in our downtown square. It's historic. It's very clean, and we take great pride in that. And then we have a diverse group of businesses where we have, upscale boutiques to ice cream parlors to entertainment,
We were there.
opera house, all the things we have. And so people love it. And they say it feels like a little Europe. They can sit out on the sidewalk at a quaint little table and, have a glass of wine. There's 3 wineries on the square. And so that's just a really fun experience.
Do you guys
we
have a lot of
enjoyed
hot rodders that come through there?
You mean like car shows?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a lot. And, I'm not a car expert, but we've done almost every kind of car show. And they will come for day shows or like the Lone Star Street Ride, which is our biggest show that comes annually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just seems so attractive to me because of the great boulevard that goes right down there through the park and the bottom end of the lake down there. It's just
Very scenic to cruise around.
yeah. It
Well,
is.
it's scenic to get there too.
It
Going
is.
through Texas when we're coming, very, very scenic to go because there's different ways you can go. You can go the highway and the concrete slabs, but then you can take the back roads, and that's the way to go.
Right.
I know the In Wheel Time Women's Auxiliary is excited to go because they
Yes.
want to do all the wine and the shops and all that. While we're on the air, they're going to be doing that.
They're going to be hanging with you, and
Yeah.
you'll be wrangled into this group whether you like it or not to show them around. But no, I assume that you must have. Tom's brother Mike must be awful good because he lets you do all of this stuff and encourages you to be who you are and do such a great job at promoting the city.
He is wonderful. We've been married 35 years, and he was, before he retired, in a very similar business, and so he understands, what is needed for what I do, and very supportive. And he actually goes to a lot of things with me.
Well, he needs to come. We need to meet him.
Yes,
We
No,
do.
better yet, he needs to meet us.
yes.
Yeah, we'll help you out there.
Yeah.
He does. He does. If you remember last year, when at the event, I was so excited to talk to you all, and right after the event, we left and went to Angel Fire because our son was having his first. He and his girlfriend were having their first baby.
Right, I remember that.
So we are now proud grandparents.
Oh, that is
Wonderful.
awesome.
Congratulations.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so give us the rundown on the schedule of things to do in Granbury and then the car show and that sort of stuff.
Well, it's a wonderful weekend. They start on the 7th, and of course, there's over, I think, 200 cars that come, and so the park itself is packed. But for all the visitors coming in, and especially spouses, the historic square is a must. I encourage everyone to do the tiki cruises on the lake. If you haven't done that yet, it is amazing. It's about a 45-minute cruise, and you can see the view of all the homes and everything from the lake. And then we have so many great restaurants to eat at, the wineries, you don't want to miss that. So I think that's one of the reasons all of our car shows like to come here, is because there's so much to do other than just the car show. And they're really involved. They do, they take their vehicles and go to several of the nursing homes and do drive-bys. So with a police escort, so that all the residents in the nursing homes get to see the cars.
How sweet is that?
It is so sweet, and it's very emotional, and everyone loves it. I don't know who's more emotional, us watching it or them driving the cars or the residents, but they do that, and then they do a poker run on the square where they play games and encourage spouses to go shop and stuff. So our community is really vested. We put signs up everywhere, welcome Lone Star Street Rod Association. So one year when they left, we had a boat on the lake with a big banner that said, "We love you, Lone Star Street Rod Association," just going back and forth. So we do everything we can to let them know. And then next year will be their 50th run. And so we're going all out for them next year.
You weren't even born 50 years ago, so.
Oh, yes.
So anyway, we'll tell you what it was like 50 years ago. How's that? We'll tell you that. Well, Tammy, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And Granbury, Texas. And how does somebody find out about Granbury?
They go to visitgranbury.com. Everything they need, how to book hotel rooms, all the different choices for hotel rooms, all the attractions, entertainment, everything you need at visitgranbury.com.
I know there's YouTube has things about Granbury. They talk about the city and the surroundings, so that's on there as well.
Very good.
Yes, YouTube for sure. And we have a Visit Granbury channel on YouTube, and great new videos to see. So, yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you June 8th and 9th.
We're all
there.
excited.
Granbury, we appreciate you and all of the people that support you and the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Yeah.
Tammy, it's great to talk to you.
And we'll talk again between now and then.
Yes, sir. I enjoy our time together, and we'll see you in June.
You got it. Thanks again,
Thanks
honey.
so much.
All right. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts, over 100,000 people have downloaded our podcast. We invite you to do the same thing from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In Wheel Time will be there too. We'll see you there.
Yeah, we definitely will see you there. And Mr. Morris, speaking of which, here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, has our events calendar.
Coming up next weekend, starting April the 25th through the 28th. Kicking off in Victoria, Texas, 3 days of cruising across Texas through Shiner, New Braunfels, and on up into Fredericksburg. It is the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, and we're going to be out there. Then the following weekend, May the 4th and 5th, is the Keels and Wheels at the Lakewood Yacht Club. And go to keels-wheels.com for more information and tickets that you can get. Then coming up on May the 17th and 18th, Little River Dragway is Vintage Drags. Now, this place opened in 1957, and this event is for 1975 and earlier American-built cars only.
Uh-oh.
8th Mile only.
Well, will you stop? You were waiting for me to say something about that.
No, I just emphasizing.
Yeah, but you looked over here like American cars only.
That's right.
Yeah, you
So
non-American.
1975 and older, Tech Card is only $15. And you can bring your own beer. Coolers are allowed with no
Beer.
glass
You
bottles.
can bring your own beer, you said, from
That's
East
right.
Texas.
Spectators is $15. I mean, this is cheap stuff here at a classic dragway
For
where
a
you're going to
cheap
see
guy like Don Armstrong.
antique drags. Then we get to June the 7th and through the 9th, the 49th Lone Star Street Rod Association, state run in Granbury, Texas. LSSRA.org for more information, and we will be there as well. And then I have a special show for Don, July the 20th, Christmas in July car show. This is at the Doghouse Beer Garden. You know how you like dogs, hot dogs.
He's been in the
2115 Spring Stubner Road, Spring, Texas. Food, drinks, music, fun, raffle awards. Meet Santa Claus in the summer.
Did you mention that that we got an event over there at Gulf Coast Auto Shield?
Oh, man, I blew right by that, didn't I?
Yeah. What's coming up?
Man.
Stay tuned.
So that would be May the 18th is the social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield on the Beltway. Sorry, John.
Do you have that on your sheet, or did you just
No,
pull
I did.
that out of your
I
butt?
blew that out of my butt. 'Cause I did. I
Blew that out of my butt.
That's where it seems to be working today. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Well, I just thought I'd bring that out.
Sure.
Man.
Out of your butt.
Time now for this hour's car review. I drove the 2024 Nissan Frontier. It comes in these trim levels: S, SV, Pro X, SL, and Pro 4X. I drove the Pro 4X Crew Cab 4x4 automatic V6. This is considered by your U.S. government a standard pickup truck. Now, in our world, it's either a compact or a midsize, depending on your nomenclature for such a thing. I particularly gravitate toward this size pickup truck. Comes in 2 cabs and 2 beds that are available. Seats up to 5, including the driver. Exterior changes from last model year. This was all new design in 2022. Now, what is really cool this year, they offer a hard body appearance package. It offers that 80s and 90s hard body Nissan Frontier look
Yeah, the styling.
about it. And it's really cool. Exterior features for this particular model that I had: sharp-looking front fascia with high-mounted squinty headlights, blacked-out grille with integrated skid plate, black wheel opening extensions, body-colored rear bumper adds to the upscale look. That is, body-colored. In other words, they painted it. What I like, the overall body design gets high marks. Lower red front tow hooks are included. What could use improvement? Smaller wheels and bigger, fatter tires. That's what I would do.
It's your choice. Yeah.
Interior highlights: simple, straightforward dash design, built-in square infotainment screen with HVAC controls that has its own panel beneath that infotainment screen. Passive phone charger with a forward storage tray on the center console. Optional leather seats with special Pro 4X embossing. What I liked, simple, easy to use controls. What could use improvement? Hard seating surface and lots of plastic paneling that could use improvement, but remember, this is an off-roader, so they like to make these things in the off-road way, which is like, put the hose in there and wash it out. Heavily weighted steering, it's an issue. It's the first thing I noticed. You may like heavily weighted steering. I think it's just a little bit too much. That's me. In other words, it's almost as if it's a cross between power steering and no power steering, manual steering. 3.8-liter V6 turns out 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque. Shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive system, 2-speed transfer case, 9-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating is 6,100 pounds. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Payload, 1,220. It's almost like a regular half-ton pickup truck. Miles per gallon in the city, 18, 22 on the highway for a combined of 19. I got 20.2 over 321 miles, most of that on the freeway. What I liked about it, the 17-inch beadlock alloys with those off-road tires on it. I think that looked really good. What could use improvement? I would like to offer that they offer a high-output four-banger engine in it. Because I know that there are four-banger engines that turn out 300-plus horsepower. I know it can be done. I'd like to see that as an option. What I liked about the ride and handling, love those Bilstein off-road shocks. They work good on the road, too. I've got lots of travel in it, and it just is really a nice ride to it. What could use improvement in the ride and handling category? Nothing. Okay, here's the pricing on this. The base trim price is $39,300. The price as tested, all loaded up, $47,630. That's a lot of money. Base model price, you can get in one of these for $31,330. Competitors, and I'm going to give you the base price for these competitors. The Ford Ranger at $32,565. The Toyota Tacoma starts at $29,430, and the Chevy Colorado starts at $29,500. So they're all within a couple $1,000s in the start-off price.
Yeah.
So that's my review of the 2024 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X.
I like the color. The green that you had was nice.
I did too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not a green kind of guy, but
it's
it
kind of
wasn't-
it's off-roady.
Yeah, but it's not a
roady.
look at me, I'm green color.
Technical term.
And it's not an army
it's
green.
Not fluorescent.
Yeah, and it's kind of in between from.
It just works with this
It
vehicle.
does. It does.
They
Real
did,
well.
They did a good job on that. So thank you, Steve Parrott at Nissan, for loaning me the vehicle, which, by the way, I had to get his permission to get it.
Oh, wow.
So I just couldn't go through Alba, our normal source. So I called Steve. Steve, come on.
Yeah, I got to send him some information too.
Yeah. So at any rate, we got it. It's good. It's good.
Gooder.
And really did enjoy it. I did have one car story I wanted to get to you before we break. The Greg Orr Auto Collection Incorporated will pay $325,000 to settle a U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission lawsuit, which claimed the dealership group fired a senior sales executive to avoid having to incur medical costs related to the employee's cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
The story from Automotive News. The lawsuit filed in September in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Texas alleged Greg Orr Auto of Texarkana in February 2020 fired William Dykes, then 65, without warning and told him his health insurance coverage ended immediately. Dykes was hired by the group in 2012 as vice president of pre-owned operations and had surgery in December 2019, according to the commission's complaint. The commission said Dykes was fired shortly after receiving more than $150,000 in billing statements to treat his cancer. An employee in his mid-30s was hired to replace Dykes, according to the lawsuit, which alleged Greg Orr Auto knew it would be exposed to Dykes' ongoing health care expenses under its self-insured plan. The Americans with Disabilities Act and the Age Discrimination in Employment Act forbid employers from discriminating based on disability or age for those age 40 and older. Greg Orr Auto denied all allegations of wrongdoing or disability discrimination, but agreed to resolve the matter according to an April 15 consent decree. Representatives at the dealership group and its law firm did not return messages seeking comment on the settlement from Automotive News. The Greg Orr Auto Collection has dealerships across 4 states, Louisiana, Arkansas, Florida, and Texas, according to the website. Bad boy.
Bad boys.
So, if you'd like to get in touch with us here, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. We'll be back after this quick break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
This is the world's favorite place to go for podcasting and live streaming. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Ahead, Pat Hanlon with Hill Country Motorheads Museum in Burnett, Texas, for the display, and also at the upcoming Keels and Wheels with a display.
And
also with a display. I wrote this and I can't even understand
You want
it
me to read
myself.
it? I can read it. They're going to be at Keels and Wheels
Yeah, that's right. They're
with
going
the display.
with some of these motorcycles he's got
You got
behind
behind you.
All right. Well, whatever. We're going to find out. I'll shut up. We'll have This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Our chief engineer, David Ainsley, is joining
David.
us
Yeah, David.
mentally.
Yeah.
I'm Don Armstrong. Thank you for joining us today. God help. You know, things start to go down in the last 30 minutes, and my brain stopped functioning.
Yeah. What day is today?
I don't know. It's 4:20.
He had to think.
It's 4:20. Just saying. Some people can relate to that. Others can't. So be it. Pat Hanlon is a collector and a participant with the Hill Country Motorheads Museum. Did I say it right? Is it Burnett, Texas?
Yes, it's Burnett. Don't ever say Burnett, or people around here will get after you about it.
I know. And see, you know, I'm not right very often, but I will pat myself on the back
On that
because
one, yeah.
I knew that it was Burnett. And everybody says, it's Burnett. No, it's not Burnett. Don't say that. So I wanted you to clarify that for me. Well, Pat, it's good to... I'm sorry?
The big saying here locally is it's burn it, darn it, learn it.
That's it. Well, tell everybody where Burnett, Texas is.
We are about an hour northwest of the downtown Austin in the hill country, in the lakes, trees up here, close to famous, or not really, it's a popular tourist area called Marble Falls and Lake Buchanan.
Yeah. Oh,
So it's a great area.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it is absolutely stunningly beautiful up there. And if you've never been there, that is a destination. That's a Texas destination to drive through. Don't fly over it. Go there, drive through it, and enjoy it. I mean, it's so unique and so pristine, beautiful up there. It's on the way to kind of Fredericksburg in a way, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg and the rest of the western part of the hill country. It's beautiful, and the reason we located the museum here in the first place, because it's coming down Highway 29 here in 281. It's kind of the entryway to the hill country for motorcyclists when they want to do the best riding in Texas.
Go cruising.
When they want to go up there to Enchanted Rock and do that. I mean,
Windy
that's,
roads.
yes, I got that all day long. So how did you wind up there, Pat?
Well, we're originally from West Texas, out there in the oil field area, and we had a house on Lake LBJ down here. So we just decided at some point to move down here and kind of consolidate households. Just moved down here, and we had a big motorcycle collection at the time, which was about 10 years ago, actually, when we moved down here. But we just decided to give it a try as opening a museum instead of just having a personal collection like so many people have, where they just keep in their garage and nobody gets to see them. So
has it kind of surprised you that you've got all these motorcycle guys and girls running through to see your collection?
Well, that's what we were hoping. You know, that was the game plan, to be a popular what they call a destination location. You know, we're not in the middle of town or anything where they can just go walking around to all the shops and then come and see us. They got to want to come to see us here. So we've become a pretty popular destination. We have thousands visit here a year.
What kind of motorcycles do you have? What's the earliest motorcycle you have in your collection? 1900?
No. We our collection is primarily 60s through 80s, what we call the kind of the baby boomer preferred.
I'm sorry, I can't relate to that.
Well,
no, I can't.
Well, that Harley that's
so-
right there over your left shoulder, though, doesn't quite fit that description.
Well, this is a replica of an original 1910 Harley. And they're built over in Georgetown, just an hour from here. So we couldn't help but get one for the museum. But it is the exception, really. We do have some 40s bikes here and some 50s. And then we have some newer ones, some, newer like sport bikes that the younger people like when they come in here.
Pat, do you work on these bikes yourself at all?
As much as I can. Don't really have a lot of time to do full restoration, but we do get them running. When we get them in, we do the test and cleaning up, detailing, and things like this. But I used to do a lot of restorations years ago when I started collecting, but it's just too time consuming. And now they could sit there on the lift for months or even a year waiting for parts and things like that. And it's have a tendency not to, you get kind of gridlocked here. So we concentrate now on acquiring bikes that are pretty much museum ready, or my preferred bike to put in the museum is what we call survivors, which is original bikes that just survived all these years. They may need new tires or a little bit of cleaning up, but basically real low miles. So they're special.
I'm surprised that you find very many of those.
They're out there. They just come out of the woodworks. So not that many. And a lot of the ones that are out there aren't really what I would consider collectible, or they don't suit my taste in bikes. So when we do find an original survivor, it's really something special. And generally, there could be a story with it because we probably get it from the original family that owned it, and we find out that their grandpa, their dad, or their uncle owned it and bought it brand new, and
Right.
their history. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're looking for stuff that's 60, 70 years old. I mean, I had to do the
Careful.
I had to do the calculate, and I had to take my shoes off.
Just shut up, okay? I got that. Yeah, all that. So I understand
What are you talking about?
you're
What are you
coming down.
talking
Yeah, Keels and Wheels. You're the man.
We are, and we're really excited to be down there. I've actually been attending that event for many years because the business we have that supports this basically is a oil field related business, and so the big oil show called OTC is in Houston.
Yeah.
That either the week before or the week after, so it gives us the opportunity to attend Keels and Wheels. So when they contacted us about putting motorcycles in, we were all in.
Nice.
How many folks do you have working with you as the curator there? You have a team of folks?
Well, we do have a team, but the only full-time people here are me and my wife, Janelle. She's pretty much the curator for it.
And I think that is she the camera operator on this video?
Yeah, she's pretty steady. Huh?
Yeah, she is, despite you standing in front of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well,
she's doing a good job here.
So, how many bikes are you bringing? What are you bringing? Have you decided yet?
Yeah. We had to commit early so they could do the prep, promotional, and everything. It's funny that right before we got on this call, I was asking my wife if I could have a list of the bikes that are in there because my mind went blank. But
that's all right.
We're bringing a 47 Indian Chief.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a Royal Enfield. No.
Ariel.
Ariel Square 4. Late 40s model. Those are some of our older bikes there. And then we're bringing something that would be newer for our collection is a 85 Honda VFR 1000 sport bike that we just picked up earlier this year.
You wouldn't happen to have a late 60s Honda F-150, some sort of a Glide or something. It had dual exhaust down the bottom. And I remember this kid, his dad had it, and I got to drive it, and I was just royally impressed. It was really a cool bike because I was into Honda 50s back in the mid 60s. So you could imagine, here I am driving, a 2-cylinder motorcycle around the block, and I'm thinking, do you have anything like that?
Yes, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think they might have called it the 150 Dream or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, we've got that, and we've got a 305 Dream.
What is your favorite bike that's in your collection? Which one do you love?
Wow, that's probably the most popular question that's asked all the time here, so that's a good one. It's actually a 1972 BSA Rocket 3.
A BSA. Man, I haven't heard that in a while. BSAs were always at the top of the list. The
European bike.
Yeah, the kids that I had, the dads usually had the BSAs, and the kids, we all had, Honda 50s or whatever they were, and the BSA had this, that mystique, wow, look at that.
Royalty.
Yeah, royalty, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what this is all about. Exactly. I mean, you nailed it on hit the nail on the head. Is back when my father was in the Army in El Paso at Fort Bliss, and we lived off base, and our whole neighborhood was full of young GIs, and they all rode motorcycles or they had really cool muscle cars. And so we being that we were in grade school or junior high, we always just drooled over everything. And one of the guys had this exact same BSA back then, and he used to start it up in the morning and ride it down our street on the way to base. And I used to just go to the front door when I'd hear him start it up, just watch him go by. And And it just left that impression on me. So it was always on my bucket list all these years to get one. And we finally found one at an auction that is probably the most beautifully restored example out there.
Now, Pat,
So-
are you a car guy too?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I don't have a big collection, but that's what I actually started doing in the first place, was restoring old, like, muscle cars. And it was just too much work for one person. It was, you got to have a big team to really do that. So I found that motorcycles was more something that you can do by yourself.
Sure. Do you know a fella that is also in the oil support business by the name of John Hovis?
John Hovis.
He owns a
No.
place. Yeah, he's out in Brookshire, and he owns a place called the Hemi Hideout. And he has an
Yeah.
oil tool business.
He knows him, yeah.
He's been very successful. I'm sorry, what did you say?
He
Jim?
said he knows him.
You do know him?
Well, no,
I
I
thought
know
you knew.
I know his place.
Oh,
We
okay.
haven't been there, but so many people come in here and recommend that we go see his collection. And the name was ringing a bell, but I just don't. I've never met the guy.
Okay, well, I think that you and he would really hit it off. We're all about the same age, and he is from the oil business as you are, and he has a very small collection of motorcycles, and like you, that and me as well. Back in the day, back in the '60s mainly, that we gravitated towards certain motorcycles. Why, I don't know, because I owned several. I owned a Honda, Yamaha. I did all that back in the day. But John, when he became successful and could afford it, he bought, I don't know, a handful of motorcycles that really struck a chord with him from back in the day, like you. And
bet.
and I think that you two would really appreciate each other. So I encourage you to get in touch with us. We'll put you guys together, but I think that you would appreciate him. But let's
think
go
so,
back to Keels and Wheels. What are you expecting there? Guys like us going, wow, Pat, that's really cool. Tell me about it.
Well, what we're hoping is that we just add a whole different type of genre to the event, and that I think that anybody that's in, especially if they're up around our age, which represents a lot of the attendees at that event, you had these little bikes back in the day, or your dad or your uncle did, and we find that people that just happen across these old bikes, not expecting it, really creates a lot of emotions and a lot of memories.
Well, I have to tell you that when we found out that we were going to talk to you and there were going to be bikes at the Keels and Wheels, Mr. Mars down here, I didn't even know this. He got all excited and jittery and thinking, oh, boy.
He gets jittery a lot.
He gets teary-eyed a lot.
It's the caffeine.
The caffeine, but he was thinking, "Wow, man, I can relate to that." What's the story with you and your bike?
No, I've never met a motorcycle I couldn't wreck, but I did do some work, some photography work on some early Harleys at once upon a time, and it was fascinating. Like you said, there's always a story with a bike that old.
I want to know, Pat, do you ever get the urge, or maybe your wife gets the urge to, when nobody's looking, maybe hop on one of those and take it for a spin around the block or down to the store? Or you ever get that urge?
We do it all the time. Yeah. Well, when we get them running, ultimately we drain the oil and gas out of them if they're putting them in the museum, because we don't want leaks or
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
but still, we want to be able to remember what it was like to ride that particular bike. So I always make it a point when we get them running to take up and down the street. So, or if it's a dirt bike, maybe go blasting around in the neighborhoods back here. I have dirt roads, so that's all part of the excitement about being around these old bikes. Is I've probably over the last 15, 20 years probably ridden a couple hundred different old vintage bikes.
Right.
Well, when is the move in for you at Keels and Wheels? On Thursday?
On Friday, we're moving in, and I failed to mention that there's another guy that's bringing some really incredible bikes to the event that are the early bikes, like what you mentioned earlier, the pre-war stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And Steve Klein out of Salado. Steve and Joan Klein have really, really high-end, beautiful, very rare collection of motorcycles, and we've asked them to join us for this so we can have cover the whole gamut of the age genres of motorcycles at the event.
Good idea.
We're really excited about that.
No doubt. Well, Pat and your wife, thank you both for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing the collection and look forward to meeting you there as well.
Okay, well, we're so excited to be down there. We want to thank you guys for including us in your broadcast, and we're excited and look forward to meeting you and seeing what kind of reaction we get.
You take care up there and burn it, darn it.
Don't
Hey, you catch on fast.
All right. Thanks again. All right. We appreciate that. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and it's available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. Mm-hmm. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts from your favorite podcast provider. All 100,000, and make it 100,001 for you. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking, and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In Wheel Time will be there too. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for...
we were kibitzing.
We were kibitzing.
We're kibitzing.
All right.
Yeah.
Time now for This Week in Auto History. Mr. Mars has history.
This week,
Hold on, Michael. There we go.
April
Gotcha.
14th, 1927, the very first Volvo was produced in 1927. 280 cars that year left the line. This was built to withstand... That's the drag racing.
Oh, did I get the wrong one?
So, anyway, the car was built and designed to withstand Sweden's harsh roads and the frigid temperatures, but they figured out real quick that the very popular open carriage design wasn't going to work so well. So the next year they changed it, and so they only produced the open carriage design 1 year.
There it is. Looks like Granny's car.
Yep,
From the
absolutely.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Then, April the 16th, 2003, the Honda Element goes on sale. Now, this is
It's only half painted.
one of the very first adventure vehicles. You could get accessories, including tents and roof racks. And it did attract a lot of buyers. The first year, 70,000 they sold in the very first year. However, it's a single generation, and it continued as it was until 2011 when its sales stopped. Also, April the 17th, 1964, the Ford Mustang goes on sale. Debuted at the New York Auto Show, and approximately 22,000 were sold on the first day
Who's
on the market.
Who's that in that picture? No, up on the top, the statue.
Looks like Columbus.
Yeah, I'm thinking more along the lines of the guy that had the smoking tobacco.
Oh, I'm thinking
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Oh, it looks like a knight from playing chess.
Yeah.
Like
It
a
does.
chess piece.
So they sold 22,000 on the first day. 18 months, they had over 1 million were sold.
It's Mars with a hat like that.
Yeah, the first one sold for $2,368. Now, there's a side story to this I found in the Chicago Sun-Times. Yeah. That this car here, Gail Wise bought the very first Ford Mustang sold in the United States. Now, what happened was she got a new job, graduated, got a job as a school teacher. Her family were Ford drivers. They took her down to buy her first car to the Ford dealer. Couldn't find anything she wanted in a convertible because the family had always drove convertibles. Salesman said, look, I got something in the back here that we got hidden. I'll show you. Goes back there. She sees it. She falls in love with it. No test drive. Made him a cash offer, $3,447.50. He sold the car to her 2 days before the official debut. So this car that she now owns 60 years later was sold 2 days before it was supposed to be sold. So this is the very first car that was sold,
Wow.
Mustang sold. The other 20,000 were
I
sold.
bet it
in the
wasn't
debut.
blue back then.
Yes, it was. That's the color.
That's the car.
Really?
She had it restored. It parked in the garage for several years, but she's had it restored, running and driving.
All right.
Very cool.
Is that the end of it?
Yeah, I just thought it was cool that she bought it before it actually went on sale.
Well, yeah.
And then she still got
I'm sure
it.
that the dealer didn't want that let out.
Well,
I'll take it.
Salesman wanted to make money.
Well, yeah, he couldn't turn it down.
Be
Cash
sure
offer.
and go to my car dealerships that I tell you to go to because I put $1,000 in my pocket for every car, every referral that I have.
Welcome to 420.
You don't know what I did before this show.
Well, we're figuring it out.
Are you?
I don't know that we want to know.
Oh, hey, I think I'm going to tell you to go to XYZ dealer and you tell them that I sent you down there and they'll give you a great deal and I'll put $1,000 in my pocket.
It sounds
And
like
the bad part about it is that the dealers give this guy money for referrals. What? Are you, what? No. Anyway, I'm just ranting.
You are.
I have an opportunity to rant and I'm going to rant.
Rant away.
All right.
You got some headlines?
I do, but I guess I could read one. General Motors says it plans to leave its Renaissance Center office complex for Dan Gilbert's Hudson's Detroit development downtown. Departure involves the automaker taking space in the 404,000 square foot office component in the block portion of the 1.5 million square foot Hudson's redevelopment. GM and Gilbert's Bedrock Commercial developed the firm said Monday. The move throws into limbo the future of the Renaissance Center, the massive office and hotel complex in the Detroit riverfront, has suffered during the pandemic as office usage trends to have shifted dramatically.
Actually, the Renaissance Center, there's actually businesses. The hotels are kind of separate from that. We used to go there twice a year with ATD for their Fords and General Motors specialty. Ford actually sold the property to GM to build that, and then GM bought it like in the late 90s.
In real time, we'll be right back.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its Car Talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Check out our website, inwheeltime.com. If you're not following us on Facebook, please do. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff with your friends. We'll keep you posted on the latest car stuff all week long. Hey, when you're looking for an award-winning talk Sunday through Friday, since we're live on Saturdays, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite streaming provider. We post a new episode every day. And thank you for making us now 100,000 downloads. The In Wheel Time Sales, Marketing, and Video Technical Director is we always need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, video editor, and the man who has an application into Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Mike Out of This World Mars, along with Chief Engineer David Ainsley.
Yep.
I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us on the road next week when we'll be joining 350 other cruisers on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. That's next Saturday, April 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and happy 420.